pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, good morning. There's some documents that weren't able to be put up on the website quite yet with, technical difficulties with scanning, but they will be put up on the website after the meeting. Got all three commissioners here, Miranda and Jack Foster and Justine Richmond in the audience. Start with the board minutes from January 13th, 2026.
Make a motion, we accept the board minutes from January 13th, 2026.
I second it.
Public comment. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried and passed. Next on the agenda. The board minutes for January 7th, 2026 for the special session for Riddick Airfield.
I make a motion, we accept the board minutes from January 7th, 2026, special session, Riddick Field Airport Beacon meeting.
I second.
Public comment. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion was carried and passed. Move into correspondence. The first correspondence we have here is from Brad Schuster. Is a letter to the commissioners, requesting to overturn the recent motion of Riddick Airfield. And then he got some other stuff attached to it from the AOPA.
So is this something that needs to be addressed again on an agenda item?
Yeah, probably.
Do we agenda item it or do we just send them an email that we're sticking with what we
I don't know, that's why I asked.
made the most? I think we gotta just a letter, just to know that we get back to them, that good letter or email that we're not overturning, we're staying with what we voted on and moving on. That's my opinion.
Sounds good to me.
This next one is an email from Derek Campbell in response to that letter from Brad. Or airport.
So did this response go to
Rags.
Brad? Who's it from? Oh, that's his,
From Derek Campbell.
oh, okay. It doesn't
It was-
say who it's from.
Yeah, it was an email that came in
Last night.
last night.
Yeah, I didn't see this. It doesn't reference who sent it. Shouldn't we have a reference who sent it?
He's on. with them.
I mean, shouldn't we have a reference on here who sent it? Doesn't say who sent it.
In his email.
Yeah,
it says
the
on
paper
it.
trail on it has to have their name on it, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is there something in the email that says it's from him?
Mhm.
So what we need is that to cover this, to show who it's from.
Okay,
This doesn't say who it's from.
Then just put it with the airport stuff.
Yep.
he's raising his hand right now.
Go ahead, Derek.
Hi, Derek Campbell. Yeah, I just wanted to say I saw that letter from the AOPA and had some comments on it, which is why I put those all in the notes. And I figured I'd make Miranda's job a little easier and give her what I was going to say. But it sounds like you guys are reading it. And yeah, we don't have to go through it unless you wanted to. So.
Alright, thanks.
We just need the email reference attached to it.
I will do that. I printed it this morning. Quick.
Next correspondence we have is from the Soil Health Symposium. There's a conference, February 2nd to the 4th. Anyone wants to attend to that Montana Association of Conservation Districts. That's it for correspondence. Any public comment on correspondence?
His email.
Derek stuff. You know what? I want from Derek, I'll staple that.
Sorry. I'm just reading it.
There's a hand raised.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Elena Gagliano, for the record. Good morning. I wasn't clear on what you decided regarding some of the correspondence, or even the minutes from the airport board meeting. So are you gonna discuss the letters, rather than just stamping them and saying something? One thing you said you're going to put it on the agenda. I wasn't clear on that. I just want to remind you that the airport has a meeting the 21st tomorrow night. And is there going to be anything brought up? The letter? I'm totally confused. I mean, I'd like to know what Mr. Campbell wrote. He wrote a letter. What's the discussion? Are you going to put it on? Are you going to bring it up at the airport board meeting? Are any of you going to be there? These are questions that I have, and I'm just wondering, what are you doing? I think Blanche mentioned something. Is it an actionable item? Are you going to do something? And I couldn't understand if you were going to put it on the agenda, and if so, when? What date? So that's my comment with questions. I hope you answer them.
Thanks, Lynn. It will not be an agenda item. We will send a letter back out to Brad and let him know that we are sticking with our motion and decision on the airport. All right, we'll move on to public comment on matters within the commissioner's jurisdiction.
Just assume.
Oh, go ahead, Derek.
Hello again, Derek Campbell. So I don't know if maybe this should be talked about under the resignation letter of the airport, but I would like to still see the information that we've requested in multiple meetings. The letter from the AOPA mentioned all the AIP funds that we've taken and that kind of thing. And as far as I know, the only AIP funds we've taken for the airport were the funds for the study. But if there are others, I think that's an important thing that we should know. So I would like to see that, any documentation having to do with the airport, and whether this comes from the airport board itself, whether they have those documents, or whether it comes from the clerk and recorder's office or what have you. I think it's important that we get to the bottom of what our obligations with that airport are. I also had a discussion with a current airport board member who says that the former board chair assured them that after a conversation with a prominent landowner in the area, that they had access to a lobbyist. I believe that may have been Brad, to work on this project in order to get it done. So I think it's important that we see the emails that come from this, the emails that were written to the airport, to the airport email, and any airport related documents that Donovan Jones may have.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
we're in the process of trying to find those documents and get those.
So here's the thing, if I may make a comment, there aren't any documents of record that we're going forward. As far as I know, we have completed the study and that's the end of it. Am I correct in assuming that? So you're not gonna find any documents that are going forward on the expansion of the airport because there's no plan to expand the airport. And that's something that I guess we need to visit in the future with the airport board. And we have as yet to have them on the agenda.
I agree. And I think with the resignation that we're probably not gonna get some of that stuff that they had emailed back and forth. Being now he's gone. So I mean, we're gonna try and then have a meeting and then maybe try to figure out another chairman.
Which they probably should do, we're probably gonna vote a chair in tomorrow, I assume.
Kinda
They'll
have
talk,
to,
yeah, they'll suggest when you guys.
if they have enough,
Just one.
if they have enough there for the meeting.
There's a couple, Jen raised her hand first.
Go ahead, Jen.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Just to, I guess maybe elaborate or clarify one point Elena and Derek were just trying to make, since there is an airport board meeting tomorrow evening, and it sounds like you guys won't have them on the agenda to meet with you all until later. Since that AOP letter references, you know, quote unquote, the road ahead, how are you going to give the airport board direction before their meeting tomorrow to ensure they understand the decision that was made on January 7th and reiterate that you're going to respond to this pilots association and the decision is not changing?
I don't know, we gotta, well, with the chair being resigned, and they gotta have a recommendation for the next chair. And once that is accomplished, then we'll have them on the agenda and we will have our conversation with them of moving forward.
Okay. I'm fine with that. I can see one of the airport board members is on this call right now, so I'm sure he heard that as well. We'll be on the airport board meeting tomorrow evening, so yeah, we just want to ensure that those board members understand there's no road ahead and there's no airport improvement plan to expand.
So one comment on going to the airport board meeting, with one commissioner going to the airport board meeting, they can't make the recommendation unless the other two are with them. If the other two are with them, it's a quorum. So this is why we'll have it in a further agenda item so that it can be discussed with the board on our decision.
Have them in here. That's what
Sure,
we
but
said.
it's not a recommendation. It was a decision. So I guess that's why the public is wondering if someone is just going to reiterate the decision.
I really don't know why it needs to be reiterated when the decision was carried, the motion was carried past, it's done. So,
I understand, but I mean, like Derek said, there's already an attempt behind the scenes to work with a lobbyist and still carry it out. And there's potentially still a board member or two that, because you guys haven't been able to jump onto an airport board meeting here in the last few months. So it just seems like they may not understand fully or accept the decision and still try to find a workaround.
thank you. Go ahead, Elena.
Thank you, Elena Gagliano, for the record. Again, regarding the conversation on this, I believe Blanche said something to the effect that there are no documents. I beg to differ. I did find documents. They're on the website under the airport board. However, and this should be corrected, when you go to certain of the documents, they refer you to an off-county website. And that's where all the documents, minutes, meetings are apparently. And those should be on the Granite County website. And if you look at the agenda, as Jen mentioned, they already decided who the vice chair was, which I think is interesting because that's been changed on the county website. And the vice chair apparently is David Lee. And so they have this on the agenda. And contrary to, I believe, what you're saying, why you're not going to attend the meeting and it's not going to be on your agenda, maybe one of you should attend the meeting to see what it's like. As an ex officio, you can be on the meeting. We used to do that a long time ago here in Granite County. One of the commissioners were on every single one of the committees, and they would report back to the commission as a whole. So for the record, thank you.
Thanks, Lynn. All right, we're a little past, but we'll move on to weekly report. Road and Bridge Superintendent Paul. Paul is out today. But you know that they have been hauling gravel. Try to fix up some of these bad roads from the weather we've been having. You talked to Paul.
Yeah, they were hauling outside of Drummond there toward Paul down that one road. And they moved them all up here because the weather was a little better to work with. Just pretty much they're jumping around and they're still patching.
Yeah.
And getting a lot of the holes caught up. Yeah, that's about it right now. They're just kind of jumping around. They're all together. They're all working as one.
Yeah, I see they were hauling today out Rock Creek again.
And I'm not quite sure which ones they were headed through here. I know down, a couple of them down there, they were talking about doing Henderson Creek too, but they jumped up here, so we just gotta kind of make sure we know how much they're gonna be buying, and so we're not all of a sudden. You know,
Yeah,
so yeah.
checking in to see how many yards we've gone through already for sure.
Weird year, weird roads, man.
Yeah.
It's terrible. They're falling apart worse than they did in the spring, then they set up and freeze, and by the time the guys get, they're waiting so they can work on them, then it's too bad.
Right.
I don't know.
So where did you get the gravel?
I know that they were getting it out of Weavers, and then they were supposed to be getting it out of Henderson, and I don't know, I haven't talked to them since then, so. I think they'll probably get that one for Henderson Creek, cause it's right on that road, if they are, but we need to know how much he's actually gonna get to spend.
And how much we've already got.
Yeah.
You don't wanna.
That big deal comes in claims, and it's, yeah, we need to kind of keep an eye on what his plan is and how much.
Yeah.
Definitely, we're gonna have to get a hold of them.
Well, here's a question. If we met our contract with the people that put the bids in and they've got the gravel that we contracted with them and we've met that, why aren't we getting it from other people that sell gravel in Granite County?
And I can't really answer that, but I think he is, but he's trying to use who's closest, so it's the fastest to turn around. But I don't know, like I said, and then they were down, I know they were getting it out of Weavers, and then they were, cause I said you gotta use them all, that's what we agreed on. And I'm not sure who's he getting it all from up here, I don't know. What's his name, ever got any more Nate Branch or not? Tommy, I don't know if he got, I haven't heard from him. But he needs to spread it out.
Yeah.
And then there's gonna be another gravel pit opening up, or they're trying to get it open. So I mean, these guys are gonna, it has to be, equal to each one.
Yeah.
Maybe, just. From here to there and there to here. Everybody's gotta be equally.
Well, that's something that maybe in the future, we should address being. We do have several gravel spots in Granite County, and the way it's going out, the bids are going out. It's not coming back by all of them, so not everyone's getting the information. So maybe that information has to be going on a little better.
For the ones that bid on it, or.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, you know, like Tommy missed it, and now there'll be another pit here with Bill. No, they all need, I don't know, for the person where there's only a few gravel pits, if the guy should just email each one of them.
Well, that's what I'm thinking is because of the fact that, to be fair, we shouldn't just, okay, you gotta put your bid in, that's it, don't get it, yeah. That's my
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah, well, that's something we could probably do is send an email out to all of them.
Cause it's coming
Let
up,
them know when the bid's coming up.
yeah, when the bid, they're coming up again, so we need to, yeah, maybe we'll find out who's, just email them, all. Even if they're not ready, they still can bid it, cause who's to say they can't have the crusher come in while they're starting to do.
Yeah.
They all should be notified, I think.
Yeah,
And then like down at Beaver Tail there, or Rock Creek, you know, maybe they're digging there again, so maybe a person. If we're gonna haul much up Rock Creek, they'll haul it all the way from Drummond, maybe talk to Knife River. Maybe be cheaper just to buy some there, and then haul so much shorter, not using that 30 miles to go there.
right,
That was just, I was gonna mention with the Paul.
yeah.
Anyway,
Have we had any bids on the roller or any of that? Yeah.
I think they come out next week, won't they? Or
Yeah, this will be the second meeting of paper, so we'll.
I did have
open
some,
those next week.
sorry, man. The sheriff's office was called, and I'm glad you brought that up. There was people going and test driving them. You're driving around in the yard and stuff down there, and I don't really like that. I mean, I wish they could set up an appointment, maybe. Oh, somebody could stop
Yeah,
by there.
He's gotta be there.
You know, something happens and then it's on us.
So
Yeah,
what are they doing?
Test driving the back, going out without anybody around, the
Oh.
sheriff called.
Who is?
Like whoever was down there looking at it, the sheriff called, and then Jason, the deputy, he went out there, cause they didn't know if somebody just teasing, so they didn't know if somebody just.
I should take the keys out.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, if
Well,
someone.
you can start without a key. 'cause
So was it an
Right.
employee? Because I thought with the understanding that I heard that just go ahead and get in there and practice with it if it was an employee. Or was it just people?
This is just people.
No, people that
This is
are.
well,
people competent, yeah. I told them,
Well, I
make sure.
don't know.
The only other thing, we could take a battery out, and that's a pain in it, but that thing, that starter, you can just, and it's
Bump it, yeah.
Cause, yeah. But, yeah, it's good, you see. the
Yeah.
vehicle running.
We should have,
It's like,
yeah, I mean, if they wanna come test drive it and go through it, they need.
Need to get a hold of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's what the notice says too, I mean, it says, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the one for sale?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. All right. Duh,
Yeah.
I'm doing that. Everything going
Yeah,
on.
maybe just bring that up, to make sure, I don't know, gotta cut a wire, start a wire off or something, if it's,
yeah,
cause you can't lock it, doors are busted,
yeah, I mean, you can take the wire off of
the battery or
the
something.
starter. Starter might be right there, easy to get to.
So you gotta take all that side panel on,
Yeah.
but I will figure it out.
Okay, let me get this straight. So they're just going and test driving it without permission, correct?
They think it was put out there just to go and, it was put out there to look at, but they need to get hold of somebody, they shouldn't just jump in and take off and drive around and dig with it and get in the pile and, yeah, no. Cause that thing broke and if it, then what, then there we sit on it.
Yeah,
So in other words, let's get the keys out of it.
Or you can start without a key,
Without key.
it's all messed up.
Um,
It's, yeah, it's a bad, it needs just to go over. Let somebody else have it.
yeah,
Okay, how do you get word out there to tell them, no, don't get in it and drive it?
I'll have, One of Paul's guys just pulled the battery out.
I mean, we're gonna have to, because like I said,
The deputy's been sitting there quite a bit, Jason Villa, he's been watching, I told him, make sure if you see somebody pulling down, but you can't drive it unless they get permission.
Yeah.
And one of us have to run out there.
yeah, I was thinking they were just getting in any old one and running
They
around.
might,
playing
you
with
don't, you know, cause the loader's sitting with the key in it, cause they don't take key out, cause every guy comes in, rotates and loads his truck, it's sitting there, you can get in, start it. Until they take it in the shop at night and it's locked up. During the day, they might think, oh, well, maybe we should try that too.
This looks quite good, right?
Any public comment for roads?
Justine Richmond, there was that 4-foot roller that Kiwanis had. Has anybody gotten that back or followed up with them to get that back?
I left a message, Justine, and I haven't heard a thing back. So, but I did leave 2 messages with 2 different people, so. Trying to figure out where it is. It's not out at the park, I went up there, somebody, the one guy said, well, I think it's sitting right there by the toilet. But I followed up and haven't heard back.
So you'll keep trying.
I'll find that little roller. He says, no, that's about the size of that in front of Justine there, just, pretty handy on the trails, not no good for us, but. Cause we got the, yeah.
Right. We're a little early, but we'll move on to the weekly report with, with solid waste. Todd didn't get anything, and that he was slammed on Saturday, but nothing new to report on.
I was glad to see that they got that 400 gallons of used oil, 'cause when I went up there and looked at that, I was gonna bring it to attention, maybe we better take that container completely out of there and put a newer one in. So, but obviously they got the people to come, cause I had like 3 different people calling about bringing in used oil. And they're all sitting in buckets, cause the thing's pumped full of half water and that, and it's jumped up and so. I'm glad to see that they did get rid of that, if they can kinda keep on top of it. Even if we have to pay just a little bit more not to have all that waste oil tipped in there. There's another guy that's putting in a waste oil, burner, and he is asking about it, and I said, yeah, you can have it. Yeah. I mean, if we can get rid of it for nothing
Yeah.
and pay to get it took out, I look, there was like 30 buckets or so better, and then the thing was pumped over and over till it was getting on the rain, right behind that.
Is there, the same at the P-Bird site, place for oil?
No, this one here is a pretty big, it was there, we put it in, I think, a long time ago, we were getting a whole bunch of oil. I don't know what this had like 750 gallons, I think it was that big, but it's even though I get it half full and it's full, cause the sludge in the bottom, that's just solid, and that's why I said, well, start looking maybe buy a new tank. And then we set it up a little different so it can drain it better. But then he said, well, no, you just put that in and it sucks it out. So, yes, as long as we can keep it, so it ain't overflowing, running on the ground there. There's a lot of oil. People really want oil.
So we got all the pre-trip from the Drummond site.
Rick White he was gonna go up and check, and then he's found some newer stuff then to fill them tires with, so. It's a foam you put in and. So that you're not getting flat tires all the time, cause it's gonna start, I mean, there's nails and shit everywhere up there, especially when you go out by the burn pit. All gonna be able to look. Other than that, seems to be going pretty good down there.
Yeah.
I see on here again where, does he need a fire extinguisher or he marks the safety equipment?
I don't
Cause
know.
they come around and check fire extinguishers, we have people that do that, if he needs a spare one, he can tell them they'll bring one.
Yeah.
You know, to put in that piece of equipment, every one of them say that on there, so I don't know if that's. They don't say in the comments that if he needs that, it just says add a half-gallon antifreeze.
Or they just, I think he might just be checking it, saying that there is a fire extinguisher, and he's checking the fire extinguisher.
Okay,
I'm
Yeah,
kinda taking it.
okay, I just wanted to know that there is people that come to check all that stuff, and they fill the safety stuff, everything.
Right.
Do they come around like once a year or every 6 months to do
Every
fire?
3 months, every 3 months, I think.
3 months,
You have to have
3
the
months,
she's
yeah.
got the records of when they come.
They come and check all the
A&E
fire extinguishers and replacement that
Yeah.
are outdated.
charge them,
Yeah.
or take them, or you look at them. I think it's A&E or A.
Any public comment for solid waste? Alright, we'll move forward in the tenders report. The USGS site is down. Today, right, Linda?
That's not working in there.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
Yeah,
But, so this is from yesterday. The current level is 6428.29. We're 14.52 inches below full pool.
So still going up.
Yeah.
Where were we yesterday or last week?
1464.
So yeah, we're just coming up a little bit.
Well, it's I think with this weather, and you gotta remember now with the edges and all that stuff, that the way the wind's been blowing, we lose so much too, to still evaporation, even when it's not 80 degrees out, we're still losing a lot. And then you got this dry ice and stuff laying on top, and it's, you know, there's holes in there, so we're not, I don't know.
In other words, you're saying it's not coming up like it should.
I thought it'd be coming better, I did, but we don't have the moisture, you know, look on there and everybody's saying that, snow, you know, we're above normal. Oh, I don't know where the hell they're seeing that. I mean, the ski areas are way down, you can still drive to Garnett down there, I mean, we don't have the moisture,
In
I
certain
think we
spots, though, I think too.
huh?
I think it's pretty spotty, like Scout Cove, they said it's 50 inches,
Yeah,
so, yeah, it's probably
yeah,
spotty.
south of town, like, or Rock Pond, all that, they got, 50 some inches snow up there, Scalco.
But it's just that dry snow, you know, when it
Yeah.
came, when there wasn't really, now the ground's freezing, so the stuff's gonna stay above the ground, it ain't gonna go into the ground like we were thinking.
Yeah.
You know, I was hoping that we get some more good wet that it'll sink in. Oh, I think it's gonna be another drought.
Should we possibly maybe bring it down to 6 to start building it up a little better?
I think we better, I'm gonna I was thinking about entertaining or making a motion to take it to 6 and see if we can start gaining more than an inch every week to, we can always jump it up.
Right, cause I think since like the first of the year, we've only been. It's been slowly going down every week, just not gaining that inch like we have been before the first of the year.
It looked to me like Silver Lake was down. That's just my opinion, I don't think it's getting moisture in it like it usually being held way down by looking at the filters out there.
Yeah, it's still, it's not filling.
And then just with the way that ice, when the wind blew all the ice off the lake and it's laying up along the banks, it just looks the water's down quite a ways. I think we should go to 6. I mean, we lose money, but
Is that your motion?
I'll make a motion that we release 6, yeah.
No, second.
Public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You should have said that, I guess.
Pass. So 6 CFS,
I think so.
you'll have to send an email or
Yeah, but,
we're out of scope, yeah.
I'll tell
I don't think the fishermen guys will be all right, I think, I heard they were kind of worrying about it. It's kind of scary, really scary. You have that.
Stamp it. Oh.
I was trying to get the right date on it.
Excuse me. I was told I was mean.
I guess if I stamped it, it would have had the right date on it, right?
Elena raised her hand.
Do you have the other one too?
The site's
The
number.
site's down, go ahead. You like to do it afterwards.
Thank you, Elena Gagliano, again for the record. I am having a hard time hearing, and I've heard somebody saying something. I don't know who. I'm not even sure what's the motion. Can you repeat the motion? And again, I hear people talking, and I can recognize your voices, but the ones I can't recognize, they don't introduce themselves or say what their names are. So please, can you just repeat the motion? What was the motion for this, for the CFS, please?
I make a motion to release 6. We were at 10, and the only ones who were talking was the 3 commissioners. And then Blaine, I asked him one question about fishing game.
So it was Blaine that was there that talked? I'm sorry. Again, you really should improve on this. I don't understand what's going on. Motions, you mentioned motions, you have discussions, you don't put it on the agenda. For the record, thank you.
So maybe ask the other people that are out there in Zoom land if they can hear us okay, if it's ours or if it's possibly that telephone number's having a problem with her phone receiver.
2 weeks ago when I was on, I could hear everything clearly, and Elena was saying she's having a tough time, so I think it's her, it must be her setup.
Last week I could hear.
Yeah, good, okay.
Derek, go ahead.
Yeah, so most of the time I can hear okay, but it is difficult because there's no idea that Blaine is speaking. This is Derek Campbell. But yeah, all you hear is a voice coming from somewhere else. And yeah, so maybe he needs to say he's the one speaking or something. I don't know.
All right, thanks. We'll move forward onto the scope of work and cost of stream flow monitoring at Southern Cross. With the USGS.
This is that bill that we get every year. You know, last year we asked for some comment or, you know, trying to figure out what was going on with a lot of it. Some of that we never ever got nothing back from them.
Right.
I mean, we pay this money. Our contributors is $10,795 and theirs is 43, but we've had a lot of trouble with this reading and a lot of conflict with cause some people say, well, this is saying this and then we're going by that. Blaine, what, remember we had
Yeah, I think they're just doing during the irrigation season, and so, yeah, it's not accurate every time. They probably should put that on their website, but I don't think they do.
no, cause we even asked them to come in and talk to us about it, and they sent that one letter.
Yeah.
And that was it, said that they were going up to recalibrate.
Recalibrate it.
We never ever did get nothing back from them on what they had to do to make it start reading it. Something that we better get a hold of them and find out so we can answer, cause coming spring here, people are gonna say, well, this one's saying this saying that, and we're gonna get in a big conflict.
Yep.
So if I may.
Yep.
Collect, compute, review and publish continuous seasonal stream flow record. That is what this invoice says. So. How else are we gonna, I mean, this is just saying what they did, and this is our annual fee. Are you disputing it, or what?
I'm not disputing, I mean, this is what we pay, but I think that we need a little more info on it, on like when they went and looked at it to try to get it back up and running, and we never got stuff given back to us to let us know actually. Just to answer the questions when we're gonna start getting it, when there's no water or not, and I'll say, well, that's cause this one said this, here's saying that. I just think just for a paper trail, if they can kind of keep us a little better updated on it.
Do we need to address this with a letter to them stating that?
I think, I want to, yeah. I just think we better. Especially if it's gonna be this dry and that, it's gonna be, better have all our ducks in a row for this.
Yeah.
So would we submit the letter when we pay the bill? Is that what we do,
It's our contract, so yeah.
before we pay the bill?
I don't think this is a bill, I think this is just a scope of work. But yeah, I think you should send a letter, I can help draft it, but
What's our yearly?
Yeah, I don't think this is a bill, no.
saying what it will be, what they'll do, what the bill will be. But yeah, I think a letter to them. I think their website should state when it's actually operational.
I think it will help us then, get this little piece of paper showing what they gotta kind of give us a review of what they really did and that, so because I mean. Yeah.
Well, it does say when this is going to happen for this amount of money, April 1st through October 31st. So.
We have a little time, but I just was thinking if we had something, just a paper, showing that they actually did what they do and that, so we can put it on the website or something, and when it's up and running, that.
I kind of read this as a bill.
That's what I.
But this is Blaine, I wasn't reading that as a bill, I was just, didn't say anywhere on there.
Well, it's saying performance period,
Just
this
saying.
is what it's gonna cost you
Yeah.
from April 1st through October
The
31st.
funding period, yeah. Data collection, the data collection. I just like to have a little bit of, I'm not trying to make this a big deal, but it's just, if we have a little more of what they're actually doing in that, so we can tell the people, cause there was questions on that last year, big time.
Yeah.
We couldn't answer it, and that's why we went to them, so they'd get info, or not.
So check with the clerk and recorder if they paid from this or if they get an invoice, I guess. Okay, I can do that.
Sure.
Thanks.
And then, yeah, we'll get a letter sent out to them for info. Put on the website, I guess.
So what's the motion here?
You make a motion to send them a letter and have a little better update so we can put it on, and then when they start reading it at April 1st, if they actually, people can know if it's working and if it's updated.
But,
Can I go ask? something
yep,
Real quick, I'm just gonna see how this is invoiced.
Cause we always pay it, but we never really have nothing. Falls through, it's saying here what they do, but it'd be nice to have something in our hands showing. Yeah, they went up and they recalibrated and this was this and that was that, just to cover us on this water. We get some different stuff, it'll be a bad year.
maybe it'll rain every day in the spring.
There's, that guy drilled a well down there by Bear Mouse and the next door neighbor, they went 60 feet. This time they had to go 80 plus. And they're not, I don't know, give her that building difference.
Yeah,
He said the table's just completely going. You say, never seen it so dry drill. That's it.
Been in a drought since 2011.
Do you receive any kind of invoice? Other than
What's
this,
that?
she's gonna check to see if they paid this.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I got.
Says- No, she said that she doesn't get these, that they come directly to Miranda, but she's gonna check in the back history on what their invoice looks like. So that's why I'm saying your motion, just send the letter when we should motion if we're gonna pay it or not, right?
We're usually in a contract with them, we pay it, cause it's a secondary reading. You've always done it, but I just.
Well, I understand that, but it's on the agenda sorry.
good.
It's on the agenda for one reason or another, I guess it'd be on the agenda to pay it, wouldn't it?
This is Blaine, I'd wait until I hear back from them on what it is.
I mean, what it is.
I don't think that's a bill. I think that's telling you what the scope of work is, but I think you pay after the fact. I think you pay after the.
You pay probably from this statement here. She's gonna look and
Oh,
see.
yeah, okay. But I'd wait until you see that.
I took it as a bill, it was my bad, that's why I was trying to get a little more info on what we're paying for. What we had proof of.
Got another.
Public comment, yeah. Yeah, cause the funding period, I think like. We paid closer, from what I remember last year, it was closer to the 1st of April by the time we paid it, we didn't pay it.
You remember that?
Wasn't in January. But I do agree with having a letter sent to request more information on that and whatnot for this year going forward. So entertaining the motion again of,
I just entertain a motion to send a letter to them that we could have a little more on what the scope of work is than just saying that. So we can answer to these people when they come in and say, well, that, wasn't really this and that, and did they really calibrate? They don't say the calibration on there. So if they give us an upgrade of what we're gonna get for the $10,795. If we could have it explained a little better so we can explain it to the people, or just hit a pain.
yeah,
Against the long one. Second, yeah.
public comment. Derek?
Hi, Derek Campbell. Yeah, so couple quick questions. Surely when this project was started, they gave you a hold on, kiddo. My daughter Bev again, sorry. I will get you water in a moment. The stop. Um, I guess number one, as a person who doesn't know exactly what you're talking about here, is it possible to have a brief description of what this project was and what you think you're supposed to be getting from this project? And then I'm sure you have a document when you started this project that said what their deliverables should be as far as uh, what they should be giving you on this. So that's
Oh,
all.
this is like, so yeah, this is the, monitoring, measuring of the flood creek below the dam. And so it's done during the irrigation season, so you can, have accurate readings. But there's been issues with the gauge. That's one of the issues them brought up, that they've got to recalibrate it. We do have an agreement with them. It's generic and they do the scope of work. But it's this scope of work too generic on whether it's an invoice or not. So we're trying to figure that out to see if it's actually an invoice. I don't think it is. And then write them a letter that they need to, I interpret that as they need to communicate better with us.
Are they so it says on there they're providing real-time data, et cetera. Is that not something that's happening, or is that not happening until April 1st? Or
It's during the irrigation season, which is
Just-
April through October.
okay.
So
All right.
what's on there is potentially not accurate, whatever's on there.
And
Thank you.
were there down there, the ice monkeys with it?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. We'll move on to the airport board chair letter of resignation. Well, we received, Mr. Jones's letter last week, stating his resignation from the airport board.
I'll make a motion that we accept his resignation. I'm sorry it worked out this way, but it's just, it is what it is. I'll make the motion that we accept his resignation.
And send him a letter.
Thank you to
Oh, it's lame. So from as chair and manager, correct?
You're correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
you have one to sign, or is it?
Second,
I second it.
all in favor?
Public comment.
Oh, public comment.
What's that?
Can I make comments after you guys vote?
When we second it, then they ask for public comment, and then
Okay.
say all in favor.
Okay. Jack Foster. I wanted to, I could have made these comments during the public comment course, but, I'm glad Blaine is here now. So I guess I want to understand the difficulty in retaining the Riddick Field email address, as well as the Google Drive attached to that. And also wanted to revisit the recording of the airport board meetings via Zoom. It's my understanding that in regard to the email and the Google Drive, it should just be as simple as getting a password from the former airport board manager, as well as on the Zoom recordings. Oh, go ahead on that piece, Paul.
We just need public comment on the letter. What we're looking for public comment on. The letter of resignation is what we asked for. public
Okay,
comment on.
well, so I should have done this, should have made these comments before. Will you guys allow me to continue with the comment?
I guess, but.
Oh,
we did.
it's my mistake then. I was
Well, then
waiting
I
for,
I didn't mean by that, but I just go ahead and accept, you know, do the motion. And then he can give a comment
Okay.
on
On it.
that way it's not denying him of speaking. Yeah, should have done it public. I'm not butting in, sorry.
I thought it was in regard to the resignation. I mean, this is directly linked to the resignation, so.
But we're just accepting this resignation
Got it.
and then that's why we're gonna, once we have a meeting, this is a chance for you to be the chairman on the board.
Where's the application?
I'll have Miranda get you one. So we get it right out.
All in favor?
I,
Aye. Motion carried passed and get a letter sent out to them.
Here's this, did you get this?
he's signing it.
So this plan, I have a couple responses to that. David Lee, the airport board vice chair, has the email or whatever. And so we're working on getting the emails that they sent to KLJ. The airport board has a meeting here set for today, tomorrow. And be working on recommending new chair for board manager. As far as the Zoom, that will, I guess that's something you can talk to commission.
So the thing, what I know, it sounds like the email is gonna be moved in there'll be a different owner of that email address who's on the board, and, you know, that email can be migrated as there are different people in charge. What I'm asking for as well, and what Derek Campbell was asking for, are access to the emails that were sent from that email address, as well as any emails sent from Mr. Jones's C3 integration email address regarding any airport business.
So Blaine Bradshaw responded. KLJ said the only emails they got were from the Riddick Field address, but I asked him to double check that.
Okay.
As far as the emails, they're working on it. It's gonna take some time. I mean, it's gonna be a little bit of time getting all that together.
Yeah, and there are, you know, just so we're transparent, myself and, you know, maybe some other members of the public that are online. It's apparent that some members of the board have reached out to lobbyist group, like the AOPA letter that you guys received, as well as some members in town who, some private members in town who are pushing a different agenda. As far as the airport expansion, you know, we'd like to understand that a little more. And, you know, I bring it all back to the airport board. They're a voluntary board. It's, you know, Blanche, you asked me 2 months ago if I thought there was some impropriety going on. I don't know about impropriety, but it's apparent that the airport board and the former airport manager were pushing a specific agenda, and in my opinion, were superseding their advisory status. And, you know, we just like to understand those emails that went back and forth, you know, who's involved. It's apparent that the AOPA was reached, and now they're involved with this, trying to get the decision rescinded. So we're just trying to understand everything. I don't know Blaine, I don't know the difficulty in getting access to that email address, the drive, and then, of course, recording these Zoom meetings. It sounds like it's simple, but maybe I don't understand it.
I think it's simple. I think it's just, it's gonna take a little time going through and getting those documents. I don't know if they're, as far as airport members can have their own political agendas. That's not wrong. The issue is if they're making decisions, basically not an open meeting or whatever. So there's a distinction there. And so not wrong for any, and fact, any board member that ever board can reach out to anyone for information. That's, so it's when they start making decisions in closed meetings, that's where. Or
I'm
close
glad,
the public.
I'm glad that you said that, because that's what we're concerned to happen.
Okay, so, and you have a right to let that happen, so, but you gotta, I'm not sure how long it's gonna take. I'll, hopefully, Dave Lee's now the vice chair, and we'll work with Brian on that.
Derek?
Yeah, Derek Campbell. Yeah, so sorry, before you guys finished your motion, or approved the motion, I was hoping to say something in regards to that. So a letter accepting his resignation, but I think there should have been a also added in there that that he needed to turn over any airport documents and anything having to do with the airport. That's something that we've struggled with through this whole process. And he has resisted this and resisted and resisted. And I think that that's problematic. So I personally, I would like to see that added to the motion, even though you've now moved on. And I do believe that as a person in a trusted public position, his conversations regarding the airport are public record according to the Montana Public Records statutes.
So that's fun. Yeah, we're asking KLJ for all that. We've asked for all the emails that came from Riddick Field to KLJ. So we're working on it. It's gonna take a little time.
That's what you explained to Jack. So I'm not changing my motion, I'm taking his resignation.
That doesn't have anything to do with his resignation. We can't tell him this is what you need to do with your private email address, is send us everything.
So we're trying to get all the documents related to a personal email sent from his email address. That's not going to be disclosed. If it's regarding the airport, Riddick Field, we can get that.
And on that,
So if I'm Derek Campbell here. So if I'm a public official, all I have to do is send something from my private email, and then nobody has any access to it.
So do you think you have personal access to my email account? Come on.
I think if I did a FOIA request on what are you discussing as the county attorney in regards to
try to do it.
Then yes, I should.
In order to get that.
I should have the emails that regard that. Absolutely.
We're moving on.
Otherwise,
You still have a.
All right. Then we're moving on to request by Mark Drake for 1 year waiting period to list family transfer.
Okay.
Hi, Linda.
Hello, how are you? So, Linda Bach, planner. This is a request. So there's two pieces. The commissioner's got two pieces to this. One piece is the email that's public information. The other piece is the confidential information regarding the health and financial records to the request that you review. So as a family transfer policy, part of the family transfer policy that we adopted says that when you create a lot, it gets held for a year before you can sell it. But then in this policy also is a statement that says that the governing body can modify that family transfer waiting period, study glasses, I'm sorry. Timeframe listed under 1 due to hardships. So, and when it says so, that the hardship can't be solely financially based, so if you're just struggling, like if funds are tight, you can't just come in and ask to get it waived. But if you're being foreclosed, or you're being in bankruptcy court, or in this case, you have medical issues, then you can come in and ask to waive the waiting period by the governing body, which allows for that lot to be sold. And it's one of those things that gets put into the document because we realize that life isn't perfect. Things come up and occasionally people need to sell where they weren't expecting to. So in this case, these people have asked to waive it based on medical and financial purposes. You've seen his documentation as to why he's requesting it. And I looked at his documentation. I believe it's a fair release of the 1 year, the 2 years. So the 2 lots each get a waiting period. The 1 lot that gets the 2-year waiting period will remain in place. They will still have to hold that one. But the lot with the 1-year waiting period, they're requesting that time frame to be lifted so they can transfer a deed and sell it. Get it? So I do, I get it.
And what if it's already in the process of being sold? Do they have, is that okay?
Yeah, I mean, a lot, you know, when they do family transfer lots, most of the time, they have a 1-year period, and most of the time they're going to start looking to market and things like that. Not all the time. There are some that truly do a true family transfer where they're giving it to a child or whatever to build a house on. But a lot of times they'll use the exemption with the intent to wait the year out. It's just in this case, they began the process 6 months ago, so they're already 6 months into this process. But
That's what I was wondering, because I thought we heard about it once.
yeah, because it took a while. Because of their surveyor, he kind of messed up a couple of things, and it had to go through review twice, and it's dragged on a little longer than we thought.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's, I'm recommending that you release the 1 year and leave the 2-year on so that they're clear that they can't sell the other one though. I'll make a motion that we waive the 1 year waiting period for the family transfer for Mark Drake and leave the 2-year on.
I second it.
Public comment. All in favor? Motion carried, my guys.
Okay, I will let
Do we need
Sarah
to
know.
sign something or?
No, I'll just let Sarah know and then she can note it in the records that it was waived.
Thanks, Lynn.
All right, thank you.
Hey, thanks.
That's all I read. I never heard of it. I didn't.
Yeah.
Thanks, Commissioner, so.
Thanks.
I was, yeah, I just, cause I heard some stuff and I didn't know if it was big, you know.
All right, we'll move forward to, the part 12D inspection, second coordination, call date and time selection for, the meeting coming up. Saw in this, from last week. These are the dates and times that, that Corinne can meet with us, and I think
HDR cannot do that first one.
they can't,
That
yeah.
email, you guys. have that email.
HDR can't do Thursday, but they can do Friday or Monday. And it's out of our scope for our meetings time, but we'll have to have a special meeting, so we can put it back on the agenda just to make sure, like, we'll pick a day that works for us. on that Friday or Monday.
You're okay with Monday at 8:30?
Monday would work better for me, cause.
Okay,
my
I'm okay with
basketball
that. Are you okay with that?
Monday's good.
Monday at 8:30.
So.
I
Motion,
don't think we need motion.
we don't need a motion,
Oh,
Yeah,
we'll probably do a special meeting
yeah.
okay.
or session.
I make a motion that on February 9th at 8:30 AM, we meet with Kareem. They, for our meeting with the the comprehensive assessment report. Fourth part.
Is he coming out? Is that what?
No, it'll be Zoom.
It'll be on Zoom.
What time is that, 9:30?
8:30 on Monday, on the 9th. Do I have a second?
No second, I was just reading now.
Public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very best.
And then we.
So, in a nutshell, we're at his will, he's not at ours.
Thank you.
That's the way it goes. Okay,
Now we got about 15 minutes here before we move into the next one. For the rebirth project. Are you the only one showing up or is there?
Yeah, Riley, got bronchitis, so.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to hear
Can I get signatures from you guys first, just some quick papers?
All say then they scam you.
I know. Blanche, here's your keys. This is taking the header off of the.
I like that one better than Blanche, no, just kidding.
Blanche.
Blanche, it is Blanche.
This is taking Chuck off of the Medicare.
Me. Right here.
Yes.
And today's 1/20.
Miranda, could you just email that island board application? So, please.
Right now.
And,
And Derek?
please.
Got it.
Authorize.
Mm-hmm. And then Dave, please.
Oh. 20th, right?
Yes. Thank you. All right. See.
Thanks.
Thanks.
How's it going with you?
Oh, thank good. I'm gonna go,
Yes, I haven't seen you for a while. And
I'm gonna go, we're going to Anaconda at Access, so it's awfully out of our hair. Wall, so. All right. Oh, we got the notice of intent. Got past that stage, so, next one is the application for the grant. Or the jail.
And you?
We're gonna close it. We're gonna go on that. Recently. They're working.
For next week.
Yeah, we can, yeah.
Yes. No. Rough go of basketball for Granite County this week.
Yeah. Man, probably Christian was hot.
Yeah, they're lighting it up.
I saw pushed us out of the gym too, and they didn't call us, but oh well. Oh, yeah, sure.
Middle school beat Drummond.
Did they?
Yeah, by
What is
one.
it? Oh, wow.
Yeah, the junior girls. 1 point,
The seventh, ninth grade?
fifth and
Fifth
sixth,
and
actually,
sixth,
yeah,
okay, Good.
the littles.
The little kids.
Yeah.
Supposed to give these to Blaine. Did he give these to you, Blaine?
I gave him mine.
That can be an agenda item next week, maybe an update on that.
Okay.
That closed room.
Yeah, it could be closed.
Goes for vacation purposes.
Yeah, the,
Alright, we're ready. Sure. Well, get started.
So I guess I don't know exactly how you guys wanna do this, if you guys wanna pull it up on your computer and I can talk through it online, or if you wanna project and we can go through that way.
I didn't.
We're not really set up for projection, but if you wanna, if you can jump on Zoom, screen share, or
Sure, yeah, yep,
is that?
yep, that works.
Just gotta make a case, say your name too.
I'm Seth Vardy, I'm with Slate Architecture. And here for me. Really? Yeah, we don't really need to project if you guys just have it in a capacity that you guys can do
Yeah.
it, or,
Yeah.
or anything, okay. Awesome. That should have probably printed out a few sheets as it was.
Is this pretty much just so you're thinking has to get done?
So we have it divided up into, yeah, the base bid is gonna be everything that pretty much has to get done. We have a couple of bid alternates, if you guys are familiar with bid alternates, it's just a parcel of the project that we've divvied out so that they can assign separate pricing to those items, and you guys can decide to include it or not in in the project.
Is there a price, do you have a price on this or an estimate? Or-
Oh shoot,
I didn't see where it was.
I did not,
I think that's the biggest thing we gotta.
for sure.
First, we have money to do it, then. I mean,
Next year,
it has to get done, but yeah, we kinda need to know.
For sure.
And if there's alternatives.
I apologize, I left that in the printer at the office. Is the Granite County Courthouse your Wi-Fi to connect to?
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay, can I get a password by chance? I can probably pull it up if I can get access to
How do you
it.
look up a password?
I just would give that one on Zoom, but, let's see.
Sarah would know.
Can you go into the commissioners one, Storm Tower 21 asterisk to get on?
I don't know.
There is
I'm
a
not sure, but
courthouse one.
preference.
Let me go see what the password is for you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, we're sorry.
That's
Go that.
We'll get it and know it.
Yeah, write it down.
We're still 5 minutes early.
Sweet.
Oh, here's the front.
Private.
Did you get it?
We got it, yeah.
Paper home? That it?
Yeah, I've given the other one.
See, she says she's connecting.
on that, being this is gonna be a bid out.
Mhm.
I always had a problem with that when you're saying how much it is and then everybody knows what they're big, you know, or don't they look at the scope of work first and then.
Yep, so our numbers shouldn't technically correlate with the contractors. We're gonna get you ballpark of what it should be, but it is up to the contractor and what their price is gonna be to carry out the work. Like I said, we can offer guidance on what can get you in the ballpark, but can't connect to this network.
Yeah, there's a nice engineer's estimate out there on the work.
Did you have that other one? This one didn't wanna connect, it said.
Can't get on.
What that?
Please.
Thank you. Sorry.
Where's Scott hiding?
He had another, bid meeting to get to today, so we're kinda tag teaming it. There we go. Taking your time.
These plans are what go to they bid on these plans here.
Yep, exactly, so. Like I said, before we actually send them out to bid, any questions, any other stuff that we have, along with all the addendums from the previous bid, we'll be able to put together that true 100% set before you send it out.
Did they figure out around the copper then that they're capable of making sure that seals, they we just did all that copper work on the frame?
Yeah, so, in theory,
My
most of
God.
that shouldn't get touched, other than that, the one bid alternate on the last sheet, just putting in new fiberglass windows, just because they're really old, and we don't know if that's potentially where most of that leakage is coming from, on that kind of dome through that oculus. You guys are having some water infiltration, and
Has it actually leaked some more since we've done the dome work? Have you checked that?
we don't, I guess that'd be a question for you guys. Have you noticed any more damage since that new standing seam roof got put on the lower part below the dome? Anything like that? Cause then that might have solved it. So, but anyways, like I said, it's just a bit alternate for new windows in the dome. All the rest of it is remaining work that's not, or existing, that's not gonna get touched. We just had a price for it in there, if you guys are looking at it, because they are old wood windows, but.
I know you'll be asked, but this is all historic, putting in them new window styles, it's good with the historical system.
Yep, everything we have, so we're going with aluminum clad windows, which is basically, it's gonna be wood on the inside and then aluminum on the outside. And the purpose of the aluminum on the outside is that membrane can wrap around and adhere to it, that raw aluminum. We can't do that with any other material. It won't adhere to fiberglass, it won't adhere to wood, so we're kind of stuck with having to do the aluminum if we're gonna adhere that membrane to it and make it a true watertight fit. I mean, we can always wrap the membrane into the opening, but it's not gonna be great when that snow starts building up in those bathtubs on the four corners and stuff, so this is our double, triple waterproof option, so. Well, I got, Scott potentially sending me that, so I can continue to walk you guys through the drawings and then we can get the cost estimate going, a little bit, if that works for you.
Sure.
Cool.
So this can last 100 years then?
Hopefully. Whatever the warranty
Are you
says on the product,
guaranteed?
yeah.
But
But,
enough warranty says 100 years, but.
yeah,
Pretty good.
I think it's like 40 to 50, hopefully. Good, okay, so if we're on the cover sheet, like I said, right in the middle there is those additive alternates, so those are just the two different items. The two different subcategories or sub scopes of work, that you guys can get pricing on. Besides the base bid, which is gonna be the membrane, new insulation underneath, patch and repair of any of the sheething underneath the roof that needs happening, because we don't know how far that water damage has leaked past that, you know, like they said, it was kind of a, they just laid a new membrane over an old membrane the last time you guys had a roof on there. That's not ideal, because you're basically making a pocket for water to be trapped and not be able to get out, so we just gotta make sure that the extent of that damage isn't, you know,
Yeah.
tearing apart your
Yeah.
substrate. But so for the base bid, there'll be entire new membrane up to about the 24 inch. There's a line up there where you guys had a membrane beforehand. The plan is just to basically put that membrane back up to that point. It'll save you guys some cost and not have to go all the way up and over the tops of those parapets. And it'll still get you the waterproofing that you need if, you know, 2 foot of snow starts gathering up there. It'll hold it instead of allowing it to sit against that brick, you know, infiltrate that way, since brick is kind of a porous material.
Was it ever thought about when you put that in there that they kinda, at one time they were talking about the weight of the snow and stuff on the roof, that maybe if they could put like a heat something just like. you know,
A heating
keep
system?
that so it don't get so heavy, cause that was one of the biggest concerns, cause nobody knows what the wood structure is underneath the dome. And the weight was a big concern at one
Okay.
time.
I guess,
Remember who they were, you know, we went up there and walked around and looked at, they're worried about the heaviness. If there's something, if we're gonna do this, that it, and then make sure that all the water flow things would work, cause some of them weren't working, it was just settling water.
so in terms of having the heating and the weight of the snow, I guess this is the first time that I'm hearing of those particular items. In terms of the snow gathering up, like I said, we'll have the membrane, so it should treat it like a true bathtub and not allow that snow to gather against raw brick and raw wood. But in terms of the weight of it, we can check into that. A heating system is gonna be probably a little bit pricey, considering what you know, I mean, if you guys
No,
are
I
trying to.
know that, I'm just, if the guy's gonna do this, he got to try to figure out how to do it. For one,
So
for all,
what-
right.
Sure.
Fine, all right.
Oh, when you're done. Now I lost my train of thought. So when you said it's a true bathtub,
Mhm.
what you're doing is you're bringing the membrane up further. And that should resolve it where there wouldn't need to be a heating system underneath it? Is that what?
It's just stopping water from getting around the current system that you guys have there now. It's just making a container for that snow to sit in so that it's not pressing up against any of your existing building elements.
Go
Like I
up
said.
past the old, what it was, 6, 8 inches going up further by, so it's not seeping into that old bricks, you know, where we look where it's cracked and coming down in.
It's essentially gonna be those double hung windows that you guys have up there. That membrane top is gonna be in line with the top of the bottom half of those windows, right in the middle of the windows. So, but yeah, that doesn't do anything for helping the snow melt. It just stops it from interacting with your existing building elements. But I can look into that. We can definitely look into something like that if we want to do that as another bid alternate before we send this thing
I
out.
know it's quite a bit of money, but, you know, I just, they were really emphasizing on the structure of the dome. And some of that wood was rotted already when we was last time, how many years ago, when I was up there walking around with them, and they dug that back, even when Kessler was up there trying to lay that wood in there, it was just shit, it was rotten.
Just, like, the ones, certain times, they've got people up there shoveling snow too, but that's gotten bad.
You know, that's why I was just
Yeah.
curious about it, cause I know some of them places have the heating system, they can lay just on top too. Not have to
Yeah.
be built in, but at least then, as long as them damn drains, we gotta make sure that's one of our biggest concerns is the drain.
Yep. And we do have that in there as part of the base bid, a new
It's so
drain.
small, I can't hardly read.
And,
Sure.
it is looking at the wood underneath too, right?
Yes, yeah, so we have it
Looking at that wood.
basically tearing everything down to the decking, patch and repair the decking or the sheathing as much as is needed. And then, yeah. But yeah, if that's another alternate that we wanna kind of entertain having, I would advise probably putting it on there as an add alternate, so you know exactly what that system is gonna cost as opposed to getting you guys a new roof and maintaining what you guys have, as opposed to adding on.
And then they'll probably build it up enough that, you know, kind of bubble it, not bubble it, just kind of come up enough that the grade of the water will actually go out and stop just sitting there.
Yeah, so that should be taken care of by the tapered insulation system, so you guys will have, an R49, foam board, a polyiso insulation system underneath it that will act as your insulation, and then they'll do tapered insulation board on top of that to make your crickets and make it drain back down to those.
Just a lot that brought up, I just remember stuff that they mentioned that.
For sure.
Cause that front drain that comes out over that front door on the side, that's just where we had people fall down in that, cause that's
Yep.
gonna have to be some way diverted not to be coming right when you walk in the front door.
Yep.
Remember we had, yeah.
So, yeah, and I remember Ryan Covington talking about that when we were, going up on the scaffolding for the elevator project. And yeah, hopefully new drain systems and potentially heat tape in those too should stop it from it. There's not, I don't wanna say there's not a lot we can do in terms of rerouting that downspout or rerouting that, existing drain. We don't have that technically in this project. That's kind of getting into the inner workings of the building as opposed to the roof.
Well, I thought where it come out, I'm not arguing with it, but I thought where it come out there, they were actually thinking they could put, where it comes out that hole, that they could interlay it just enough that when it hits it, even if they had to put, you know, so the water just goes out and it comes down like in that flower garden or over here.
Oh, sure, okay. Well, yeah, that's, if we wanna entertain doing something like that,
Well, I
we
mean,
can.
we're fighting ourselves if we're gonna fix that, and then that water running down.
Yeah.
That's what, when they tore into that elevator, all that was seeping in there.
Okay, well,
Now that we just put $1 million in that elevator, I mean, it's just shit we better be looking at a little further out than just the roof. Is the
Sure.
roof gonna fix the roof, but then we're shoving the problem down the hill.
yep, just flowing down the hill. I'll add that and, we can get a detail for something like that shown in there. Like you said, that, in terms of aesthetics, we might have to, you know, consult you guys a little bit more in terms of how it looks, since it is such on the north side of that building, you know, it is visible. We're kind of,
Well, you can get a match, something pretty close to the brick color, not just match.
Yes.
I mean, I just hate to see that water seep into the elevator now, it was spin a lot.
100%, yep.
Pain in the butt, aren't they?
No, you bring up valid points.
I guess that's the rough thing, we put thousands of dollars in it, I guess if we're gonna do it, it's.
Mhm.
Need to have it done right,
For sure.
Sorry, lady of that water, well, we had a mess out there when we got that.
Yeah, good, right?
You got out of clothes on that, that ice.
Mhm. Well, we'll get some details, we'll get some options potentially shown for you, before we get this out to bid. And we'll just vet it a few times with you before that goes out. Shouldn't be more than a standard detail and possibly an elevation, so it's not gonna be too much work to get that shown on this. So we'll get that added. So I guess with the end in mind, and since you were talking about that elevator penthouse, that's kind of the other thing in that original project that we had for the elevator. You know, we had the brick veneer going on the outside and that it was gonna kind of match the exterior of the building. Don't know if you guys, now that it has a brand new membrane over it and it's a really nice membrane, it is still visible from the street, so you see a white box sitting on top of on top of the courthouse. But we threw that in there as another bid alternate, so if you guys wanna have that finished out in brick and have it match the rest of the building and potentially look correct, or you know what I mean?
Wasn't historic is just what they can see by the highway driving by, wasn't that how Mr. Weaver brought that to our
Yeah.
attention? It was something to do with.
If they see that white up there, that's not I don't think that's a violation of the store. I'll have to talk about that.
Mhm.
That brick
A
is
lot of money just to cover that up.
Yeah.
It's pure white, you can see it. I went up there,
What's on the roof?
yeah.
Or roof,
Woof,
roof.
woof.
I don't think it's a violation of historic preservation to have it be white.
For sure. I guess I would just say maybe we do need to do due diligence and just ask somebody if that
Yeah,
is,
yeah,
and
sure.
we'll follow
Yeah,
up
that's
on
a
that.
preliminary thought, yeah.
Cause it'll just be thin veneer brick, it's not a full brick system, as it were, it'll just be thin
Kinda
veneer.
like that stuff they put behind the fireplace, really, Z brick and then that, kinda like that.
Yep, it'll be a little more
That's-
exterior rated, it'll probably be a little more durable. It is true brick, I mean, it's true, but it's just super
Sliced
thin,
and-
stuff. Yeah, exactly, so,
I've seen it, dealt with it.
for sure.
It's costly.
It is, yeah, but like you said, if you wanna do a one and done kind of system,
No,
it is just a bummer that you gotta tear that brand new roof membrane that they just put on there, you know, that's always a bummer, if that were to be the direction you guys wanna go. Other than that, in terms of stuff that we're monkeying with on the roof, we got the drains covered. The gutter and downspouts, we decided to leave those, we're just gonna strip and repaint those, kind of get them polished, you know. There's nothing wrong with them, they still function how they should, it's just whether you guys want new or if we can just, you know, kind of put some.
I think that just that far siding was loose.
Yeah, so if we can just re-anchor them, they'll have to take them off to probably sand and refinish them anyways. So, I mean, re-anchoring them is gonna be part of the job, so. Anything else on the gutter and downspouts? Cool. So then I guess the only other item we have up there is that ladder. We're gonna do a brand new metal ladder instead of that rickety OSHA hazard you guys have up there.
That's a historic ladder.
It is.
People climb on that?
Yeah, fortunately, I think, historic preservation yields to safety. I think a metal ladder is gonna last you guys a lot longer and like you said, kind of a one and done situation as opposed to rebuilding a ladder every 20 years.
Where's that ladder at?
It is on the south, west side, roof number 2, so just outside of the extra storage room that you guys have.
Kind of on that side of the jury room there, we went out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New ladder,
New ladder, yeah.
right?
Come on.
I have some crashes up there. Climb out the window.
Yep, we have crickets shown everywhere that should need shown cricket. Like I said, you probably have existing crickets up there. Some of them are sloped so low you'd never even be able to tell that there is a cricket there, but we have new crickets shown, so water isn't catching in any corners, especially that one that's kind of by the chimney. We didn't know if there was a cricket there per se, so we added one so that it's flowing back down to that gutter and downspout in the southeast bathtub. No work in the dome other than replacing those windows, but like I said, that's a bid alternate. So I guess to get into the actual replacing of the windows, I mean, like I said, if you guys are, if it's small enough, you guys probably aren't gonna be able to see it. It's gonna be replacing those windows with a like for like aluminum clad wood, so it'll be aluminum on the outside, wood on the inside. We shouldn't have to touch any of the interior trim or bucking, except for that one window where the new elevator shaft went. That's just gonna become a smaller unit, so there'll be a partial infill. Look at that page that shows that detail. So detail number 4 on A7.
They're smart ass. They could put a beacon in the dome.
Lighthouse.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so it'll be a partial infill, that detail number 4 on A711. Just a partial infill, so they'll infill it framing to where that, elevator shaft wall, comes in, and then it'll just be a smaller 24-inch wide instead of a 36-inch wide window, essentially, nothing crazy, there. The only window we did have questions on, and we just wanted to verify that we are going in the correct route for this, was that, the bathroom on the 3rd floor, the jury bathroom. Right now, we have it shown as a 24 by 24 window that we're planning on frosting, because it technically is visible from the jury room. Say it was nighttime out and, you know, somebody's got the light on in that bathroom, it would technically be visible. So we have it as a smaller window that gets it up and above that membrane. So there'd be one continuous membrane across, we wouldn't have to break that. But then the interior, that nice new tile job that you guys have up in there, they're probably gonna have to infill that. If we were to go that route, we can maintain and still do the full height window that's in there now and still frost it. But we just kind of wanted to get your,
Is there wood blinds? Clay Bradshaw, is there wood blinds gonna be on that window?
I don't know,
That bathroom?
technically, I don't think we have any window treatments.
Or, but there's no blinds?
No.
Oh, okay. Cause it's like the judge's bathroom, you want blinds and no frosting. Yes, there's not gonna blind. Seems like you
I
want-
think that's just gonna be one of our calls, wouldn't it, if we'd rather have it, you know, frosted or have a blind so somebody can look out or.
Yeah, I'd rather, if I was using, I'd rather see some sunlight coming in.
Mhm.
Not that I'll be using it.
The frosting will still let
Well,
natural light come through, but considering that you're not really getting any views out of there anyways, you're just looking out into that bathtub, all you're seeing is brick and
True.
membrane anyways, so I don't know if that sways your guys' thoughts on it.
If you want frosted then?
Just frost it.
Okay,
I'll make the decision.
perfect.
Frost it in.
And maintain the size window that they have in there now. Good. Okay. Perfect, and that, like I said, detail number 10 shows our new roof drain and overflow. We have them insulating down from that, which is what we're thinking is causing the issues, is that it's allowing that heat to come up and melt whatever's there, and then at night it freezes, and then that's what's causing your ice damming and not allowing those roof over drains or the drain and overflow to work properly, so.
This is a dumb question, what if we have put a darker so it would melt, you know, like being white, it don't get, if we had a black or, you know, it's just, I'm just, you know, cause then the sun would hit it and you'd get more heat from the sun and it melted better, where white, it controls cold.
For sure. Being down in those bathtubs, especially depending on that north side, a lot of those are not gonna get hit with a crazy amount of sunlight to begin with.
I just.
And a lot of these roofing systems, they kind of only are offered in one color. If they have a black one, I mean, I think we
I
can
just
consider it.
wonder maybe if it was black, you wouldn't have to try to heat it if the sun would, cause the sun hits it right away.
And then you're also gonna have to fight that in the summertime though, so any of that material that is that dark in the summertime, if you get some really hot days, it's gonna bake the life out of it as well, so just kind of pick your poison.
Bake the life out of it, like baking the life out of it.
I'm just thinking of stuff.
For sure. And then we do have, it called out for cornice coping caps, so just those granite caps on the top, instead of allowing them to gather material, we were just planning on putting a cornice. It's just a piece of bent metal that goes over and is anchored into it, and it just slopes to one side, so it allows that. And that you could make, potentially a darker color that would allow that to pick up heat and melt that snow off of it, and at least get it drain too, because I think right now they're flat, there is no drainage off of those. We can drain it into that bathtub so that it's controlled in a way that can go somewhere where we want it to, instead of just letting it drip everywhere, especially down the outside of the building. Increasing freeze thaw spalling. Other than that, it's all pretty much standard details. Like I said, there's the details that show that membrane going up halfway into that window, and it's wrapped the exact same way, so the window is the thing that's keeping the moisture out once it gets that PVC membrane bonded to it. So it, for all intents and purposes, is a continuous sealed item. If that makes sense. Next page.
What this is Blaine, one thing about those, the windows base of the dome, that was thought that they were cause of some leakage, so sooner, even if you don't do them this cycle, you should think of that as doing that.
Yeah, I have to remember when, that one time we did go up there lake and it sleeted and the moisture was coming right in.
Right, well, and it's been a weird
It's
year,
like-
so we noticing if it's been leaking here in the last couple weeks or months, you can't really tell, cause we don't have snow up against it or anything like that right now.
Yeah. And we do have those thrown in as part of the base bid, we're calling them the Oculus windows, because that's.
Okay.
Oh, that's for the base.
What they-
Oh, okay,
yeah.
good.
Oh, all right.
Good.
It's just those two on each corner.
Oh, okay, I misunderstood.
Those are the,
Alright.
we probably, we can rename them something else, but just, they're windows that just let light in to come through
Yeah.
that Oculus, so that's. why
Okay.
we're doing that.
That's what I thought.
Gotcha. Yep, so those are part of the base bid. Those will get replaced along with the wood windows, down in the bathtubs. Said standard, leaving the gutter and downspout. Yeah, and then we just have a alternate pricing for the windows in the dome and the elevator or penthouse. So those two items should come out separately, and you guys can determine if you wanna go down that route or not. Like I said, if the Historic Preservation Society isn't concerned about it, we can leave that membrane, and we have that shown in the base bid where they'll just tie into that existing membrane cap that they have placed on that penthouse, so, but.
I guess now that'd be one of the biggest questions if it needs to be stored. Yeah.
For sure, yep.
It's coming.
So. But like I said, that being said, it is a lot smaller of a penthouse than the previous project made it out to be. I mean, in the drawings, it looks like it's supposed to be 12 foot tall. I mean, it really only is 4 feet tall, so
Yeah.
it's not that visible from the street anyways, but it is visible, so, yeah. And it depends which agent you get from the historic preservation and what their judgment call is gonna be, but, yeah. Other than that, that's our set of drawings, so.
Got a public comment in here. Go ahead, Elena.
Thank you, Elena Gagliano, for the record. I heard several references to the historical office, preservation office, whatever. And this has been my main concern. It's 95 pages, this document. I kind of went through it. I wrote this down. This is my comment. This is my concern, my major concern. So I was going to send it, but things got caught up. This document of options, this project document of options includes major changes including replacing original dome windows and aluminum units, adding new brick veneer to the elevator penthouse, and replacing windows and roof decking. Yet nowhere does it mention consultation with the Montana State Historical Preservation Office, the Montana Antiquities Act, or the Secretary of the Interior's standards. I'm not opposing the re-roofing itself. I'm asking that the county follow the legally required process to protect this historical courthouse before awarding contract or considering these options. And I respectfully request that the commission confirm whether the State Historic Preservation Office has reviewed and approved these alterations. If not, the project should be paused until a review occurs. And if there is a problem in getting in touch with the State Historic Preservation Office, I'll be more than happy to send them a letter, because it is my main concern. And I don't remember any document when the elevator was put in. So for the record, I'd like to see what they have to say in writing. Thank you.
Thank you. Glenn?
Yeah, Seth said he would run that by them on these issues, so we'll get that. And the elevator project, it was, and ADA trumps historic preservation. So it was done in compliance with the historic preservation regulation.
Yeah, that's part of our due diligence, is to consult those guys and make sure that we're not leading you guys to handcuffs, you know, right? Getting in trouble.
The only other thing, next time, if we get them bigger so you can see more.
For sure. Yep.
Give them my class.
Bring your magnifying glass.
Need like 5 of them.
For sure. Yeah, sorry, the scaling for an 11.5 by 17, these are supposed to be 24 by
Yeah.
36 sheets of paper, so you scale them down, it's anybody's guess.
Just so you can, read some of the, trying to read some of the stuff.
Maybe not like legal length even, or a little bigger page.
Just so you can read some of this, I have no idea what it says.
If it'd be worth it to you guys next time around, I can just bring in a 24 by 36 setup.
Yeah, I think it'd be better, and then
Okay.
you can actually see what you're throwing it, you know, what you're.
For sure. Most everybody nowadays wants to see it on a TV screen, so we've kind of just started catering towards, you know, digital. Yeah, I mean.
I don't know how to say it, didn't I?
No, for sure, I can definitely do that.
Next time, do it in ledger size.
Yeah. You guys have any other comments, questions?
How you doing? Good.
Justine Richmond, I do think Commissioner Adler did have some good questions, and I think questions are good and are not a colossal waste of time. But could somebody provide, a little background about what it is that we're looking at and the process?
I can give you a little update. I've been on the 2.5 jobs they've done up there. We keep this. We've actually laid membrane and we patched it, and it's rotted. The stuff they tried to patch, we should have just been, first time we should have just tore everything up, but didn't have really the money to do it. So we thought we could get away with go along with it, and now it just needs to be clean slate, because we don't know if we're gonna get into that. That's why I'm so worried about the weight of the structure of the snow once it's set. A lot of that weight is seeping down into this building spot. That's So we're going into, I don't know if that explains it, but going in, we're gonna do it right, move it up, so that it was on the low base, now we're coming up this high. And then getting it so it drains out.
Thank you, that does explain the need for it, and then, who is Slate Architecture and where do you fit into the process here? That's kind of what I'm wondering a little bit about.
So I'm Seth Marty, Slate Architecture, we're out of Helena, Montana, we are an architecture, firm that we got hired to help along with this process, guide these guys through, what needs to be done to ensure that we're getting a good product, along with Dave Kaufman, is also our consulting roofing expert on this project, which these plans and specs have been sent to him as well. To get his opinions and, expertise on this matter. But we're trying to get these guys a new roof, tear out the old and call it a botch job. But they put a new membrane over an existing membrane, which is creating a pocket for water, to be trapped in there, condensation, moisture to be trapped in there. So, and that is just gonna totally deteriorate the roof to the point that we're having now, where we're having huge infiltration leaks, all that stuff. So we are the architectural, entity on this project, helping these guys get them back to a new and viable roof. Like you said, so that we can kind of, cut and run from this patch job and, repairing each minor leak and just get them back to a baseline roof that is gonna operate how it should be operating, as opposed to, trying to cover up this mass amount of fixes. So,
Another reason, Dustin, when we had them, we asked them to look at it and voted on that. It was because when we cut up through with that elevator, we're trying to do it, and then we're. So you better look at the roof and see if we can just fix everything, because we just cut up, now we got a good spot where the elevator is, but the rest of it is. So that could filter over there. And that's why we asked them to start looking at the roof, see what, it's been coming for what, 5-6 years, bunch? Something maybe longer, but you can go up there and there's all kinds of little patches, square patches, people actually glued down trying to leak. It's,
Thank you.
I don't mean about it.
No, you're fine. Know more about it than I do.
It's been a pain, hasn't it?
yeah, and sorry, I left that out. We were the architect on the elevator install project too, so this, like you said, this kind of came about as a product of that.
And that Dayton Kaufman, yeah, we asked him to look at it, cause he was a roofer, he knew what he was doing, so we had him dig into it and work with these guys. When there was a lady too, I can't remember her name, she helped out big time. She was up there.
Alright. Well, are we making a decision on anything today, or is this just an update, wasn't it? Or-
Yeah, this was,
This is just giving us what, what they kinda wanna show us and that.
And extra stuff that we wanted.
Matt, the add-ons will come on now that they'll go back and put them in, and then it'll be a while, and then we'll probably see what it's gonna cost, and we're gonna see if we have the money or when we can do it, and when or except when they can get through it, or big job now.
I can definitely get you guys, looks like Scott's in a meeting, but I can definitely get you guys, that cost estimate after this. I'll send it to Miranda and you guys can take a look over that. I apologize for not having that today. That's my bad.
I guess the only thing is, that's the only reason I asked about that, I guess, I know that there'll be different one, but when you throw out, I guess you gotta kinda give them an idea what it's gonna cost. I just don't wanna use that as that's what the bids are gonna be.
Yeah, for sure. No, in no way, shape or form is our numbers gonna be indicative of what the contractor comes back. Like I said, we give you guys a ballpark number so that the contractor isn't pulling the wool over your eyes and getting like a 50% markup. We're just trying to get you ballpark. But past that, it is entirely up to, since it is a publicly bid job, it's entirely up to the contractor to give you guys a price, and if you guys choose to accept that price,
That's all.
move forward with the work. So,
Sounds good to me, thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
thank you guys very much.
If we think any other thing, just, I know that Kaufman said some stuff, I can't.
Mhm.
Let's go back, I have them notes.
He's in the loop, so, yeah.
Okay.
We sent that set of drawings to him. He's already given us some comments back, at least on the spec portion. I don't know if he's gone through the drawings at this point, but, we're expecting to hear probably a few more items from him. Get those incorporated, or at least, take them under advisement while we move forward, so.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank you.
awesome. Thank you guys very much. You guys don't mind, I might run down and just see if I can look at that elevator just while I made a trip down here and see what's going on with that. But,
Yeah, it was nice, sure wish it'd be worth it.
right, yeah, this
It's
Otis guy,
frustrating.
I know, which is really unfortunate because Otis is kind of not the only
I
name in
know.
the game, but it's entirely up to them and
They've been the weight on the whole damn thing.
yeah, which is. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very irksome considering him,
It's been months waiting
Yeah.
on them.
so. But anyways, yeah, if there's any other questions or anything else we can help with, feel free to reach out and we'll see you guys. And yeah, I'll let you guys know when we get these changes made, incorporated, and when the next set comes around. So,
Cool.
awesome. Thank you guys very much.
Have a good day.
You too.
Yeah.
Well, so
All
weird.
right, we're a little bit behind here, but, we'll have our update with the Granite County Treasurer.
Hello. How's everybody?
Good, how are you?
Good. Ashley Todd, Granite County Treasurer. I was asked to just come in and give you guys a update on the happenings in the treasurer's office, I guess. I got one big one to talk to you guys about, so I think for the sake of time, I'll start with the smaller things and get back to that. Since we have some public on today and some public in the audience, I just wanted to bring up a program I brought up a few times. It's a HAP program through the state of Montana that helps with mortgage reinstatement and lien prevention, as well as utility, assistance. It goes until September 26th. Just kind of just a reminder, I've talked about it a few times, but, we've had a couple of applicants that have received funds, which is very exciting for the county, to have received essentially those back taxes, and they were larger amounts, so. That's been really nice. We have, I think, 4 other applications in for that. I haven't heard about anybody doing the mortgage reinstatement program, but, it is a program that's available, and there's partners out there that can help, get those applications in. So I have information on that in my office. If anybody has questions. The other one is the Montana Disabled Veterans Assistance Program. This is through the state. It's one that's been around for a long time. I just wanted to put a reminder out there that those are due April 15th. And there's updates on income on those. Those applications are also available in my office. As well as the Property Tax Assistance Program, also known as PTAP. Those are available in my office as well. Those are income based, and they've increased the amount for the first 418,000 of your home, I believe is the increase this year. If you have questions, I am available for that. So those are the easy ones. Somebody asked me a little bit about the uncollected taxes or the delinquent taxes, just a little update on that. I wish I could remember the dollar amount from the last time. But right now we are sitting at these are all years, so they can go back as far as like 2007 on some of these to 2024. 25s are not included on these just because they're not delinquent. We are sitting at 222,000 currently, which is a significant improvement from where we started.
won't even try to give you those numbers because they've been updated so many times, but significant improvement. So I'm pretty happy with that, and hopefully with a few of these other ones, there's a couple out there that are applicants for. I know one that's around 8, another that is also close to about 9,000, so. So that's that. Any questions thus far?
That, the TAP program with utilities, that help renters or just homeowners?
So I have this information, and it also has the Q and A in there. I kind of give you more information about that.
Back patches. They put one claim in, or do they? I had one person, what do you want to do?
Does not state,
Oh,
to my knowledge.
Some of them, sorry,
What?
on that one, you know, when there's some of these taxes that aren't getting paid, and that one person I know, you know, it got brought up and he was cut, you know, complaining about the letters and all that. He said, what are you gonna do? He said, I haven't had to pay him, why would I now?
Yes, so,
It's kind of like, oh,
I'm not sure about whom you're speaking of, like, as an individual, but, there are a lot of MCAs that have to be followed in order to essentially have the county be able to take their property. And it is dependent on the type of property. It's a multi-dwelling, like it is a business, and there are people that live there, the owner lives there. That creates a whole new set of issues, and procedure that we're researching how to handle that. It makes a big difference whether the person lives on property or not. If it's just an individual, say that they have, a mobile home that is not attached to the physical property, we can essentially repossess the mobile home as personal property with that writ of execution. The writ of execution is served by the sheriff's office. It's a big orange sticker that goes on it.
if they have any kind of establishment where they were saying, well, we're off grid, that's a whole different tax deal. Our house isn't, it isn't really a house, it's a. Let me see, you know what I'm trying to say, Glenn?
it's not real property, the house, it's
Yeah.
a trailer, not a shed,
It's not a trailer, it's already, they built this little,
Mhm.
well, there isn't, yeah, isn't
But
that.
attached to property.
That, they're living in it.
For the Department of Revenue, it's considered an improvement on land. So it depends on how it's being taxed, but either way, the land itself also, you know, there are steps that the county can take in order to take that property essentially on tax deed, county tax deed, and then there's a time frame in which the county has to hold on to that property and then make a decision of whether or not they want to keep that property under the county. If they want to auction it off, they want to give it to, one of the towns, the municipals. I think there's another process for schools too. It's a pretty in-depth MCA.
Not Amsterdam.
maybe after the meeting, you talk to her about it, cause yeah. It's one that's probably on her radar.
Probably, we don't have that many left, really, where there's one in particular that I know has been, a concern, for the town of Drummond. And I've been working with the town, I've been working with the Treasurers Association to try and figure out what we can honestly do about that. And there are not a lot of avenues for us to proceed to take that property. But there is a possibility. I need to do a little more research before I could probably give you too much information, but I want to.
Kind of what these other ones are saying, you know, you haven't done nothing there, why would you worry about this, you know? Yeah, they're kind of like you're not gonna do nothing. I think we are.
Yeah, and anyone that is, like an outside investor that wanted to take an assignment on that property, they can do that. And then that property can become theirs.
So the one thing that we can't do is just ignore it. If someone what were you saying that? What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, you haven't done nothing for so long.
Yeah.
It's,
Well, then-
like, how can you do something else if you
Yeah.
haven't?
It gets
Trying
to a
get it
point.
out from yes, we can.
Legally, Blaine, wouldn't we wanna follow through, because if we let one get by with going whatever you. It's
Yeah.
gonna end up
Well, that's right, Sam. One
bankrupting
that
the
he
county.
This is one that, Michelle could talk to Ashley about after and see where it's at. One of the ones at Drummond, there's a lot of lien holders ahead of the county, but I'm not sure what other issues you're running into there.
That's
That
a
it?
big-
That, question of ownership.
So,
Oh,
but, yeah.
Huh.
Eventually we get to the bottom of
Just takes time.
it, yeah.
Yeah, I think that we've made really good progress.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it started this, what, after fiscal year, it was in June when we kind of started
Yeah. me too.
really getting at it or after it.
No, I think they know we're serious, I mean, it's, yeah.
And we've uncovered, quite a few issues that, needed to be resolved with the Department of Revenue, which has been really great, to just get those off the books and get those figured out, because they were never supposed to be on there in the first place, and, you know, it takes an audit process like this to find those things when you have thousands of taxpayers.
Yeah.
And, you know, both of the towns have been awesome about giving me information when they have it available. I've been working with a couple of different landowners that happen to have multiple mobile homes on them, and some of these mobile homes have been removed, or they haven't been there for many, many years.
Well, I think a lot of it too is, you know, like you said, some of them people took them trailers off, they were still getting taxed, and they're like, oh.
Yeah.
Kind of waking everybody up, I think they've done a really good job.
Yeah, and a lot of them too, like just to, I'll move through along, but, the mobile homes too, like a lot of them are exempt. And the delinquent portion of those exempt mobile homes is their solid waste fee, $135. So, the next step on some of those before we decide to go ahead and do the writs, I'll bring that list of writs, here fairly soon, after I figure out a couple more of these that are there or are they gone. Some of them don't have bins on them, so that's made it pretty difficult, but, that would be at the discretion of the commission. We could take a look at it, see if they've even used those numbers. You know, paying or charging $135 for something that's not being used. We could abate those. Yeah, any other questions?
Good job.
Thank you. So this is the bigger one. So I was approached to talk to the commission about the hospital district and their negative operating condition balance. A letter was sent out to the commission, the board, and the CFO, CEO.
Brian is CEO.
Brian Newsom. The letter was sent on December 24th. And, Blaine and I had discussion of the structure of the letter and essentially what we should include in there. And they responded, that they had received that, wanted a time frame, and exactly what we were looking for. Chrissy Mainwaring, the board chair, reached out to us, essentially telling us that it was discussed at their board meeting, and I think that is where some of you may have been approached by people that were aware of the board meeting and the minutes from the board meeting. To my knowledge, they did not read the letter that was sent to them, just acknowledged the fact that the letter was sent and that they were aware of the issue. To give you a little background on how they receive their reports, they get a monthly report from me, but they get weekly reports from their accountants. So I work directly with their accountants when it comes to the balancing of their books. And if there's discrepancies, then their accountant reaches out to me. Sometimes it takes a long time for them to see that there are discrepancies. When I first took over the books, there was a discrepancy between outstanding checks with the hospital and the county, which we have gotten to a acceptable amount, it was very large, so. That has all been rectified, and I spoke with their accountants just to get a little bit of background on like how they report to the board, what information is being sent to them, and we're on the same page as far as the actual dollars and information that gets sent to the board. So they've been very aware of this, ongoing issue for quite a few months now. Christy Mainwaring, the board chair, did send me the minutes from their meeting. I think maybe you were included in that as well. Tried to include Blaine, and Blaine has tried to include me in everything correspondence wise. I have made that very clear to them as well, that I won't have any just one-on-one correspondence, that Blaine or a member of their board needs to be CC'd on everything. An additional email was sent out, in response, for a second letter to the board, the commission, and, the CFO. Just outlining that we want a timeframe outlined and what their plan of action is. That was sent last week. And then we had an email as a receipt saying that they had received said email and that they are currently working on a plan to resolve this issue.
So is one of their reasons they're not getting the anticipated revenue? Or are they over extending their budget?
I have not gotten anything they have not responded to me as far as a real explanation of.
Cause usually if they're in the negative, then an auditor would suggest we need to register warrants. And then we need to register warrants from an account, and we don't have an account fund that big to register warrants with the cash negative being over $1 million. So what's going on?
So they've been told that we would start registering their warrants. Blaine and I have had this.
So what
discussion.
fund are you registering from?
We have not registered their warrants.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm asking. But an auditor point of view would say we need to be registering warrants, but we don't have a fund to register right now.
Then didn't last time we found that they need to go to the bank.
Yeah.
We couldn't.
Did this time
Okay,
too, yeah, they need to get a line of credit.
Yep.
Take
Yeah,
care.
they were trying to get what, 400 and some thousand last time, and there was. That was quite a few years ago.
Her latest letter was a 60 and 90 plan on taking care of that, or they'll have to be, have to act on here. But yeah, the remedy is them getting their own line of credit.
We don't wanna be sitting on that.
No. Yeah.
I
Right.
have been told multiple times that part of it is the reimbursements from Medicare, Medicaid.
Medicare's slow, I know that,
Not $1 million worth.
but not that long either.
There was a couple of months where we didn't receive any funds, to my knowledge, from those entities. I don't want to, read into this until I get a response. That was essentially what I was waiting for, is I wanted an outline, I wanted information. I don't have that.
Well, it's something we just gotta keep on the agenda every week just to know what's going on, so, I mean, $1 million in the business. In a hole, not good,
And they have made deposits.
but I mean, still on, and that's getting the money from a long time ago, and then they still on the rotation of getting up to $1 million, and if we want something's.
So what's
we
happening
never heard for 2
is-
months, then we're stuck with it.
The revenue that they're anticipated is not coming in,
Mhm.
otherwise should be a balance. So their revenue that they anticipated,
It's
Exactly.
it's scary that they can run up, get that far. $1 million.
Well, they were a couple of years ago, too, they were last time, they were supposed to.
2015.
But in a big chunk come in, and I'm kind of, oops, sorry, go
Oh,
ahead.
that's okay. Was there anything mentioned by Brian that the reason for the negative balance? Is there a reason? There shouldn't even be a negative balance.
Well, that's what I'm wondering why.
There was
it's
nothing
feeling
sent
like-
to me like as an individual from Brian that would indicate.
And if they got that many claims out there, boy, you would think you'd be sitting in your chair there saying, hey, we need to get this paid, we need to get caught up here. Whether Medicaid's slow or not, it still should be in rotation from year to year, even if they're a month behind, it's still gotta be income coming in.
Yeah,
Not to show for 2 months.
ask him to come in and talk with the commission, and he said he would, because he needs to be given periodic, he needs to be the one.
Yeah, he was the mayor.
They used to come in, you know, as Maria, whatever her name was, used to come in all the time, give us
Updates.
mm-hmm,
I should probably get him on the agenda,
soon. I mean, we got
next couple of weeks. Oh,
Yeah.
I think next week, it's kind of built up, isn't it?
Mhm. Let's see what we can do.
Maybe like 30%.
Well, the policy established back in 2015 was they get a line of credit.
Yeah,
I remember that. Cause we didn't wanna be the banker.
Absolutely.
Robert become the banker again.
We have nowhere to get it.
Yeah.
And if we go and get a line of credit, money sometimes,
Then it's on us.
it's on us.
I guess in the meeting minutes from the hospital, there's reference to them needing more swing beds and they're looking for referrals for swing beds. Cause that is, seems to be where they make their most money.
But still, if they're not billing right, or not getting, or, you know, I know they're waiting, you're still gotta be with
They gotta-
there even in swing.
They gotta tighten the belt. Yeah, you gotta spend money. If you're not, it's not coming in, you gotta spend them. Yeah, they're gonna be doing a mill levy election or they're calling for one here.
Are they up
So-
for a mill levy? Are they, is it
Yeah.
time?
So they're planning to do one in May. I don't represent the hospital district, wanna make sure you guys, know I said that from the start, they would do that, represent.
So in May,
Commissioner.
how you doing it in May?
That's the,
Special election?
no, that's the regular trustee election
School election?
and hospital district election, yeah.
They wanna run a mill levy.
On a school ballot?
Yeah, in May.
Oh, holy.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're gonna ask for mail ballot or not.
Hmm.
So the,
But it's still, how much are they gonna run them for? Is it gonna bring them out of the million? How much more are they gonna be in? This is all questions that he needs to be in there answering, cause by May, how much further over a million they're gonna be? And they're
Yeah,
on a million,
they're,
half a million, we're still sitting on 700,000.
they're meeting this month and we'll have to decide.
It does look like in the minutes, that they are looking at the possibility of planning to apply for funds through the World Health Transformation Funds.
What's that?
That I'm not familiar with.
Is it the funds just to cover and then they just pray that they get all the money coming that they have out? I guess that's what I'm kind of confused why they're not chasing the
What's
money.
it called?
World Health Transformation Funds. This is information directly from the Granite County Medical Foundation Board minutes from
It's scary.
Might get
December
something.
23rd.
Yeah, it's not good news.
And the last time, you know, when Brian was here, he said, oh no, we're doing really good. Oh, wow. How can it fall this is
That fund is a federal grants to state for rural care. For improving health systems through significant funding for modernization, workforce and technology.
Wonder what the payback on that is, though.
With the grant though, there may be a match.
Uh,
So the MCA about registering warrants, you know, what essentially it does is it puts that in another fund, right? So it's pocketed there. However, it does not stop them from writing
Right.
warrants. It doesn't tell them that they can no longer write warrants until these are paid, those warrants are getting written. The other option that was given and looked at, not an option that I am condoning or saying that we should do, it is just an option. Is that to safeguard county funds, that they become their own special district that is paid like our other special districts. And no longer is a federal warrant account. That could significantly impact them. But it is another option. In discussing this with the Treasurers Association, we are not alone in this. It happens quite often, with school funds, actually more often, and they have different procedures that they have to follow, but,
they probably wanna get kind of special district.
they're there,
Yeah,
they're just treated
right.
differently.
They are a
Yeah.
special purpose district, but she's saying they actually stopped from, using the.
So they don't go
warrant
through the
system.
county for the warrant?
I'd have to do some research on that.
Is that what you're suggesting, that they're not gonna go, the money isn't gonna flow through the county?
Not necessarily suggesting, but that is an option. Yes. Just the registering of the warrants, a possible option of no longer being a part of our warrant account. And essentially they would be paid out the same as our other special districts, which is June and December.
I don't know,
So
maybe
this is,
get him in here and to see what their actually really plan is and not getting back and, you know, I mean, they got better get and see what.
I think that they are very focused on this right now. I do not think that they are brushing us off by any means.
Yeah.
I do think that this is the board especially, I think that they're very concerned. And they're looking at all avenues that they possibly can, to get this rectified. I would just say that, yes, they do need to come in and speak with the commission, but I'd like to see what their plan is and allow the board to, or the commission, sorry, to take a look at that and.
That's a big thing, is get them in here and just actually see what they're.
Right.
Going.
Why is this happening? Why isn't the revenue that they anticipated coming in? That's it in a nutshell.
They did, Brian Huso did respond to her latest email and said, yeah, we're gonna get on this,
Yeah.
right? But she gave him a week to get back, week.
Well, I'd like to get one right away, especially if they're here come May, not that far away, they're thinking running.
We got them on for the 3rd. February.
Well, they're a taxing authority, they can bypass the commission, and go to resolution
Oh, I know
right to
that.
the, but yeah, you need to know.
Just the info on it to understand what.
Well, I just don't understand why all of a sudden now they're making it a big deal and they probably should have, you know, in August when they're almost $500,000 in the hole.
Yeah, I would have to look at their board minutes, maybe this is something that they have been discussing. You know, this is just come to a head to the point of where, you know, I had some discussions with Blaine about what we can do within the law, following the law. And so it takes a little research on my part too, to know and understand what we're legally allowed to enforce and not enforce, and how and what steps we can follow to do that.
I mean, even like on your letter on December 19th that you sent to Brian or whatever, I mean, where it has listed out how far under they were. And, I mean, just from August to September, they went over $400,000 more in debt. Something ain't looking good on that.
We're free, you know, he needs to. Get some learn the mail on that, he needs to be in there kind of explaining a bunch of the stuff before that, you know.
A lot of that,
Get through the
yeah.
middle.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of that's been based on hope and You gotta have sure
I
numbers.
know, but.
Yeah. I know everyone else that runs businesses can't run businesses like that and keep going.
So another thing that the commission should discuss, is that in my latest letter, I did state that it is up to the commission about when they need to be in a good standing on their account. And it is my suggestion that it be by May 18th. That is prior to the end of the fiscal year. It was mentioned that they would like to have until the end of the fiscal year. It is my preference that is.
I'd like to see it by the end of the month.
But
Yeah.
I just hope that they get back to us, in the next couple of days,
They need
for
it.
their plan for the 60 and 90 day.
Yeah.
Well, they need to reply back to you after them, instead of, like I said, throwing you in the middle of this, they need to come in, we need to have them right here so we can ask them the questions and figure out. I mean, you're doing what you're supposed to, but we're kind of getting up under the whole show.
That's right.
No, it's
Part of
not.
my job.
Yes, we need to, they need to face their own.
Yeah, I need to chat with them.
So any correspondence that I have, Blaine, I think they know now that there is a president, we CC Blaine, and then any responses I send, I CC Blaine, and I send to the commission. So it's available. Out there for everyone. And that way it's a real time too, so that you're getting updates as I'm getting updates and not weeks later.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions on letters that have been sent, timelines, or other options that you'd like me to look into for following up with this?
I don't think there's really a lot more the person do, so we come in and sit talking and then we can make sure you're here and we'll answer what, you hear what we say, and we all end up together. So figure out, then we're gonna have to go ahead and make some kind of plan to figure out $1 million.
Yeah, and they have made deposits. I mean, their deposits are fluctuating, some days it's 40,000, some days it's 100,000, but their payroll is significant. They do payroll twice a month, and on average, it's anywhere from 90 to 100,000.
That's gonna be, to make sure people are paid for what they did, is gonna be the next one, because we've heard, there's rumors they're not gonna pay them, or they're gonna have to wait to get paid. Working people can't wait to get paid.
Okay, I don't see it. There's a statement here from Christie where it says attached is our initial response detailing the actions we started immediately. And nothing is attached. So what did they start immediately?
I'm assuming she's referencing the minutes. The only attachment that I was able to open was the minutes from the meeting.
That's what it was in that email.
You get a copy of that, or you need the minutes?
And it's not on this.
Well,
Not this is it.
No,
this
so
is
the
to
minutes aren't.
Brian, that's fine.
The minutes aren't in this part.
Get to get hold of you and they can come in
Yeah.
and have us some ever update and just show them being negative.
do you want me to read the excerpt from the minutes?
Just what they're starting, what their actions are.
Okay, so this is, directly from the Granite County Hospital Board minutes from December 23rd. In light of this month's hospital financial report and the district's continued challenges in collections and utilization, the board of directors will be working closely with Brian to explore all possibilities and options to ensure the ongoing viability of the district. We are taking the following actions immediately. Increased oversight. The board will increase its oversight and approval of all expenses and operational options. Section 2, expert guidance. We'll be partnering with the experienced Montana Critical Access Hospital Group experts who have the necessary knowledge and background
to guide us through this process. Utilization, prioritize public communication, confirming that our hospital remains open and fully operational. We currently provide a full range of services, which include emergency room 24/7, primary care clinics in Phillipsburg and Drummond, extended care long-term residents, physical therapy, radiology and laboratory, physical and wellness programs, and transitional care. Our continued success relies heavily on the local utilization of services offered. As our medical director has reported over the last year, we have updated our building, added services, and have been committed on the part of all providers and staff to continually work on improving the quality and service we provide. Increased utilization of the services we offer can significantly impact our financial issues. Moving forward, the board is committed to keeping all stakeholders informed, including county government, employees, patients, county residents, and suppliers. We will be keeping you informed and updated as we make progress. We appreciate your patience and support as we navigate these necessary steps.
Well, that's good, but it's.
People, we need to pay your bills. People, you need to come and see the doctor here.
Yeah, just, you know, when we get them on, it'll be the next step.
Cause right now, we're just playing a guessing game with all this, we don't know what's gonna happen, who's gonna go, and, I mean, yeah, they come in, already, and say, well, what about, you know, county thinking about warrants and that.
Right.
But not hearing the thing, and I don't know,
Alright, well, thank you.
thanks.
Any other questions? You guys can stop by.
Sorry.
Justine Richmond, I'm not sure I understand the whole thing, and maybe that's not important right now, but the basic question is, they are $1 million in the hole, and the county is covering that currently. Is there gonna be a point where the county is not gonna be able to pay its bills because of this negative balance by the hospital?
You know, at that point, then, the county would not be, well. Maybe a dollar stepping here.
No, you can,
At that point, we would be essentially registering their warrants, and putting that into a separate fund. I do not foresee at any point that the county would not have the financial means to cover those warrants. But we would have, I would think legal action would have to occur to where we would essentially not allow those warrants to be written any longer from our warrant account.
Is there a drawback to the county to separate, to not allow them to use your, I guess you call it the county warrant system?
I think that this is, my opinion, but I think there would be a significant drawback for the county as a whole, as you're speaking about Granite County as far as our taxpayer base. Yes, I think that it could put the hospital into a dire situation, which we've seen in 2015.
the hope is they take care of it.
Yes.
But,
I think,
yeah, they could put the county in that position.
Not good.
Derek? They're so hard.
Oh yeah, Derek Campbell. Yeah, I was also looking at the minutes on there. Did you guys discuss, you said something about a mill levy? Did you say that I was trying to understand what you were talking about there. Couldn't quite earlier in this discussion.
the hospital's mill levy is sunset this year, so they have to,
Have another election.
have another election, but also request for an increase in the fund amount that they are levying, the funds, the actual dollar amount.
Okay. I noticed in their minutes, they said they were leaning towards not proposing a levy until the current situation is resolved. That was from their December meeting. Just curious what the county's take would be on that.
This is Blaine. They had a January meeting already and discussed my understanding, discussed the levy, and are gonna have to do another potentially special meeting. I'm not sure when the regular meeting is, but they're gonna have another meeting here in January to decide. They're a taxing authority, they can call for the election in May. The issue, they're gonna be doing that, I believe. The issue will be the amount they're asking for.
Yeah.
As a county taxpayer, I would say, we've got the library that's going to be on there and that kind of thing. Obviously, I hope that our county residents would prioritize the hospital over the library, sadly, as much as we love the library. Thank you.
Good, Elena. You there?
I think we got
Raise your
to,
hand again.
Right here, yes. Go ahead, Elena.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, sorry. All right, Elena Gagliano for the record. First of all, Happy New Year, Ashley. And I want to thank you. You're doing a good job keeping up with all of this. And I really appreciate it, all these things that you're bringing up today. I do want to ask you a question. I brought up the fact that the budgets are missing from the new website. They used to be up on the clerk and recorder's webpage, and they're not. And I even did a search, try to do a search, and nothing comes up. I already contacted Sarah and Miranda, and I don't know who else to contact so that they do put up the budgets. And maybe as the treasurer, you can get the budgets listed on the website. And I would really appreciate that, because it'd be nice if we can see what the budgets are, especially considering this, that conversation, which I don't think would be here, I'm not sure, but also the airport board. Thank you.
Hey, but we're way behind.
Justin Richmond, this question is related to what Mr. Bradshaw said about the hospital district is a taxing authority and that they would be looking to do an election in May. They wouldn't put it on the ballot for June. Isn't that when our next election is, in June?
It's the trustees election in May.
Okay, and
So then they're choosing to put it on a trustees election.
That's my understanding what they plan to do. Yeah, there's a May trustees for the hospital district election as well as for the school.
So what they're planning is putting a ballot issue on the school election ballot.
But on the hospital district ballot.
So they're putting their own ballot out there.
Yeah, I'm not sure the practicality of how Sarah will do it if it's one ballot sent out.
Because
I
we've
guess
never done it that way
yeah.
before.
I'm sure she'd do it the way they've historically done it. Yeah.
Cause it was always, if they were putting an election out, they'd put it on a special election, or it could be on, it's been on, the primary election or the general election, is where it's been in the past.
So they're hoping to do it with the May Hospital District election. One of the things I've as attorney for county commission gave them advice, they shouldn't be going out to the public and seeing, you know, what are you thinking here? What will the public do? Because to put something out there, a high number and get it voted down is not an efficient way of doing it. Should be out, talk to the public.
Well, and this is not what I'm understanding, because usually with the trustees election, it's a school election, there's 3 different school districts. So that ballot issue would have to go on each trustee school election. Or are they putting their own out, is what I'm
But
saying.
The hospital district covers the whole county except for Lower Rock Creek. So we'd have to ask, Sarah. how
They
she
would be
cover
going
it.
on the school
Yeah.
elections, is what they'd be going on.
So, yeah, you want, ask
That's
Sarah
way
to come
out.
in or-
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would.
Yeah. Be her decision on how it's done, but yeah, that seems like the reasonable thing to do.
Thank you. I'm available for any additional questions.
Yeah, and then whenever we hear from Brian or whatever, when he's come in, then we'll get a scheduled agenda.
Okay, Miranda is gonna reach out to try and schedule something. Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank that. All right. Next is the Nova Northwest encroachment permit application. You guys seen this at all? Yeah.
What is DeNova Northwest property owner?
I think it's in your district.
It is? No,
We just usually approve them at that.
Right.
Usually they have Paul go look at them,
Yeah.
make sure that they're not gonna.
Yeah, and he brought it in last week, so.
Pretty much just sign off, they pay their $200 and
I guess I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and accept, the book, how is, the Nova Northwest encroachment permit application under review of Paul.
Say,
I'll second it.
there.
Aye.
Oh,
Oh,
Or
public comment.
I was gonna ask if this is Blaine, if Paul looked at it all right?
Yeah.
Your motion was that he approved it as well.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, that's what he said. He looked at it, brought it in last week.
Where's that gavel?
Well,
That's why I said
Wanna
I
make
made a
sure.
motion to approve of
Okay.
Paul. He said he looked at that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is it just me that signs it? Remember?
Yeah.
All right. Next is Montana, or State of Montana aggregate and rock mining permit renewal.
I'll make most of go ahead and accept this, this is ours out there, just to keep it under. So somebody else don't come in and take the kid away from them, in case we ever get a crusher, you know.
Yeah, no, I think, yeah, keep it in good status.
so what you're saying, renew, you want to renew?
Just renewing the
Yeah.
permit.
I second.
For comment. Favor,
Aye. Aye. It's a good deal,
yeah.
if we have to find somebody to cross the cheese.
We bid out the crushing before, but this is like, but it wasn't, I mean, it saved you some money, right?
We saved quite a bit, a lot, cause we got the crushing they were moving through, so it didn't cost us as much to have them mobilization. And then it saved us, yeah, it saved us a bunch of money. Cause then we spent like 100,000 or something crushing, so we need to come out. Kinda nice having home there, but like right now, there's gonna be 4 or 5 pits now in Grand County.
Yeah.
Terry Olds, Jeremy Mickey starting one.
Full Ballard.
Even go with one.
Mm-hmm.
We got Tommy Mazza, Doug Benson, yeah, there's five right there, not carrying any claims, you know, remember they had that pit up
Just a
there.
few.
Yeah,
So there's 6 different gravel pits in Granite County. What was we doing? Sorry.
We're just moving on, well, let's just say, Mike from TCS won't make it in today for an update, because he's got a conflicting meeting at the same time. So I'm just.
I guess it's on that note, I mean, we have them on, and I guess we're trying to figure out what Otis, and just like what's his name was saying, you know, it's all waiting on Otis.
Yeah,
That's.
that's basically what this is saying,
Yeah.
is. He's waiting on Otis, basically, so. So I guess we'll move on to county claims.
And then there's the visa ones. Cause usually some of them come in, there's visa and something else that's on the.
We got.
So.
Yeah, it's on the visa and.
Yeah.
You can't really hear, there'd be them, the hospital, having
all
their
the comfort
election,
systems are jail,
their own district, but the election.
There
and
must
having
be a
that
visa.
happen.
There's a visa.
So it doesn't have anything to do with.
You cover, that's, I just read.
maybe save that for the record,
Oh,
she had the information on the,
so the, Granite County Medical Center is planning on putting this ballot issue on their trustee election in May, and they have their own election. They don't associate with schools, or they could have in the past. And so this is gonna be their own election, and it'll be a mail ballot. And it'll have the trustees and then the ballot issue for the,
no about.
I'm sure mail ballot.
Okay, I just have to get this open. But
But nobody yet knows how much they're going for.
That one too, yeah.
I guess it spooks me that.
Yeah, gonna have to have a meeting and sign, that's for it.
So had they decided possibly to put it on the primary, then they'd bring it to the commission for request to put ballot issue on the primary election, right?
Say that one more time.
Had they decided that it was going to, they were gonna put this issue on the primary election, they would have had to bring it to the commission for, telling us that they're gonna have.
So that resolution would still be, since they're taxing authority directing, Sarah to have, and requesting
Yeah.
that date or, so it'd be on,
Or that
Sarah
would
versus
come
the county.
through us, but this one won't, because
I don't
they're
think
their
either, I
own.
don't think either one of them does. If they wanted on, June, they would do a resolution requesting Sarah to have it on in June, totally bypass the county commission.
It totally bypasses the county
Yeah.
commission.
If they could do it where they ask the county commission to do it, they can do that. They can do it both ways. They can do a resolution calling for the election or resolution asking the county commission to call for the election. Recently, they've just been directly calling for the,
And this is the example that was brought up where the library district came in and are requesting a ballot issue.
that one, there's a statute that says the, with interjurisdictional, library district, that has to come through the county commission, which statutes expressly state that.
Thank you.
There has a same race.
Go
So
ahead.
on that claim, I got it on claims, on that claim, so at least we got the heater fixed on the jailhouse. That heater got 2 of them in there, sounds like it's And they got that other cleaned out, so we got the ventilation and the heaters and they're 31,000. We approved it, what is,
entertain, yeah. Motion for claims.
I'll make a motion.
How many claims were there?
Oh, okay.
Have a second,
Second,
public comment on claims. Alright,
This was on the conversation. This is Derek Campbell. This was on the conversation about the medical center.
yeah, just wait for a sec, please.
Yep, cool.
Favor?
aye.
Aye. Motion carried and passed. All right, Derek, go ahead.
Yeah, so am I understanding correctly? So they will have their own special election by mail?
Yes,
What is the
Correct.
cost? What is the cost of something like that, if you don't mind me asking?
you would have to probably visit with the clerk and recorder's office because there would be postage and the actual ballot issue.
Getting all the
Okay.
letters.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if we're asking, and the county would pay for that, I assume?
The county would do the election, the election administrator would do the election, but the bill would be sent to the hospital district for them to pay.
Just added on to their almost $1 million that they already.
Yep.
I guess as a taxpayer, that seems like, well, maybe we wait until June and put it on with all the other ones, so it's not a additional cost to the taxpayers who are already looking at $1 million bill.
I think if they waited too long now, and I think they're gonna kind of got themselves in a bind and they gotta do something like now.
It doesn't, the levy doesn't levy doesn't sunset until end of June. So they do have time, that's just their decision. I don't know that I call this a special election though, when they already have the trustee election, so it's not a special election, but they do, so they have that, there's folks running, it's not gonna be by acclamation, they're gonna have that cost anyway, but it could be that, they don't have multiple people running for each position, they could do it by acclamation, so they may not even need the.
Yeah, so they can't, if you have people running against each other, you have to have an election.
Yeah,
So if they didn't, then they would be by acclamation. So this is an election they have to do anyway. And they're putting a ballot issue.
Okay. I guess that sort of makes sense. But we do an election, what, a month later? There's
in June.
another in June, yeah. So it's May and then June. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was just seems like yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
it's
okay.
the same as the school election. The school election, if they didn't have a levy or if they didn't have anybody trustees competition, they would do it by acclamation and there wouldn't be an election. But if there is, that'll be in May also. The school will have their own election.
Sure.
Yeah,
Seems like maybe we need to be saving some money somewhere, and that could be even if it's a small amount in the future, that could be something that we look at as a way to save some money for the taxpayers who are probably going to be on the hook to bail out this medical center. So that's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think
Can I say one more thing?
Oh, no.
I would just say, I think that's a good point to bring up to the hospital district, to the board. That's a good point. Right.
Because they could have it during the primary, correct? But then they'd have to have their trustee election.
Yeah, the issue is they're not gonna know if there's gonna be competition or not. They have to make their resolution has to be to Sarah by the hospital district resolution, calling for the election has to be to Sarah by February 9th.
On that note, meeting adjourned.
Good job, you guys.